scary skeletons send shivers down your spine. Shrieking skulls will shock your soul, seal your doom tonight. Spooky, scary skeletons speak with such a screech. You shake and shudder in surprise when you hear these zombies shriek. We're so sorry, skeletons, you're so misunderstood. You only want to socialize, but I don't think we should. 'Cause spooky, scary skeletons shout startling, shrilly screams. They'll sneak from their sarcophagus and just won't leave you be.
Whoa, what the hell kind of intro? What was that? All right, welcome everybody to Pop Culture Corner. Happy Halloween. I'm here with Saggy Melonz and DL. We'll be joined by Poindexter Lounge, TW, McKay, RJ, and some other familiar faces from around YouTube tonight. Super excited. Got kids ringing my doorbell galore. It's a good sign. It's a good sign. People are out and about. Before we get into everything today, make sure to smash that like button. Share the show on social media, and if you want to support further, become a member or send a super chat. You know, throw some money my way. You know, it's all for good causes. What's up, TW?
What's up?
What is this?
How is everyone's Halloween?
I mean, good, but like this one is in the costume. This one ain't even on camera. What kind of Halloween is this?
Look, I got Ghostbusters, man. I'm busy editing up.
All right, so you're a Ghostbuster. Okay, we'll forgive you. You're a Ghostbuster today.
I do nothing.
Virtual hug, Raya.
I even have a glowing red microphone because I thought that would be cool. I've actually never used this one before, so I don't know how it sounds.
It sounds great.
Probably sounds schmeggy.
No, it sounds good.
But,
I like it.
Yeah, how's everyone's Halloween going? You guys getting any trick-or-treaters?
No.
Do you remember?
We got a couple.
All the lights in my house. Turn off all the lights in my house so all the kids think that no one's there.
Right. I mean, I remember when I was younger. I mean, I'm only 29, but I remember when I was younger. Once like 5:30 hit, not a single soul was in the house. Even if you weren't trick-or-treating, you were out throwing eggs at someone or their house, having a fire in the woods, getting hammered, like something. Now
Tell me
like
you're from Boston without telling me you're from Boston.
yeah, but I mean, what? Now everyone stays in and plays Apex Legends or something. I don't know what's going on.
We're getting old.
Right, we're getting old. We old now.
I'm not talking about us. I'm talking about the new generation. They don't seem to go out.
My niece was so excited to go out. She was dressed up as oh my god, I can't even think of the kid's name now. The little girl from The Walking Dead, Judith. She looked just like Judith. She was so cute.
Aw, that's so cute. What did Lewis say? Why is Saggy more a fox now? She was a deer earlier.
I was going to say, why is she more of a fox? Wasn't she always?
Oh,
yes.
What a ridiculous sentiment.
What in the hell did I walk into?
A furry party.
Yeah, we're doing
I am
furry
not
parties.
DTY.
Okay. No, but
Um,
I kind of miss the Halloween trouble that, I'm gonna tell my kids, like, go out and punch someone in the head or something. I don't know. Get in trouble.
that's illegal.
someone in the
And it's
head.
battery.
Go out and insult people, son. Do it.
Yes.
Dad said so.
That's
Yeah.
Ty, that's battery. That's legally battery.
Meta, you sound like you have a mask on.
I know.
Oh
man, I'm
no,
trying
not necessarily a mask, but I do have my my Halloween face on.
Hey!
All right.
Yeah.
Keep it,
Wait.
man.
Yeah.
Wait, what? What is that?
Oh,
Oh,
dig
yeah.
it.
Meta!
I was
I
gonna
like
say
that.
I could hear the mask on you.
Yeah, this mask is. You can definitely tell I have a mask on when I have it on.
Yes.
This is
I
my
just-
face now. The metaverse has manifested into a.
Oh! Speaking of metaverse, what is going on with Facebook?
Oh, I heard about that. Aren't they like
So-
changed?
Hold on, I got a face for this. Hold on. Where's it at?
Is it like a depressed face?
Hold on 1 second.
Oh,
I have a face for this.
It got features.
I am not amused. I am not amused.
I love that mask. I want one. You guys said I
What is
want
that? That's so cool. Is it you can
That is
change it
cool.
from what, your phone or your computer? That's awesome, man. Look, even costumes are a lot cooler nowadays, but we don't see anyone out on the street wearing them. That's the
Wait,
only
Oh, I got
problem.
this one too. I got this one.
His eyes blinked. Did anyone notice that?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's so
Yeah.
cool.
Also, it comes with these features too. Who's ready for the Matrix?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
That's awesome. That must have cost you a lot.
Yeah,
Not really. Actually, it
No?
costed only like 200.
Yeah, only 200.
only 200. Mine
That's not
costs
like-
40.
Like this type of masks, I feel like would be like at least worth 400 or 500. So that's like a deal to me. Also, for all those outside that are trick or treating and are looking to get into trouble, well, just you'll be seeing this in your headlights.
It's even got a police feature. That's so cool.
Oh yeah, dude, this thing has so many features. I absolutely adore this thing, and
That's
they're
awesome.
adding more features by the day. So like,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't
Stream's
know
gonna
about
be
this
more
one.
exciting now.
I don't experience this one a lot. So
Well, okay, so
Aww.
Facebook is changing its name to the Metaverse.
no, just Meta. Just Meta. It's not the metaverse. It's just Meta. I have had to do extensive research on this because I have been getting blown up on Twitter about it.
I don't understand though. Like a whole brand change so many years later, it seems like a bad idea.
It
It
not
is.
necessarily. I mean, like,
Well, it's
I'm
the
trying to
business,
find-
right? And it's the
What do you mean?
business. So, like, look at Google becoming Alphabet, right?
When is Google becoming that?
What?
Google is called what?
Alphabet?
Did
And
he die?
He died right in the middle of telling us.
No. Am I live? Am I dead?
You're
Am I
good.
live?
You are dead.
Okay.
Here's me
I
crying
was
because
closing
of it.
tabs. I was closing tabs. Far as I know, that's the actual like business name of Google now. Like not
It's
the
Alphabet.
search engine, not the Pixel, nothing like that.
They
The company that owns Google and YouTube and whatever else is called Alphabet, far as I know.
that's just dumb.
Yeah, that's so weird.
Pretty dumb.
Well, I mean, I thought I figured bring that up because it's your name, and I kind of feel like
So I did
you
a
can
I
take
did an
them to court.
update. I did an update on that, and I am not changing my name because of the simple fact that, as far as I'm concerned, they're doing it from a tech. So as far as trademarks go, like they have it trademarked under what I would call like a tech from a technological standpoint, so a tech business, versus me, who I'm using it as a brand for entertainment. So we get legally wise, I still say I could trademark it that way, and I intend to. I'm not going to stick with that because I'm not about to get pushed out of my own name. That's going to be ridiculous.
Yeah, that's super weird.
Not-
But I
again,
mean,
not
it is what
amused.
it is.
Not
It is what it
amused.
is. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Guys, it is Halloween, so I did want to take some time and talk about some horror movies and some stuff like that. So,
Yeah, horror movies. I haven't
guys-
been seeing any of those this year.
Do you guys have a specific horror movie that you watch during the Halloween season?
I watched Ghostbusters.
Oh no, Mr.
Hey, look at
Kruger's
that!
here.
Everyone's showing up tonight with a costume.
Oh no, I just took my mask off because I couldn't
Enosh
breathe.
is coming as
Same,
Freddy got
same.
fingered.
Freddy
I'm
knows
digging it
Krueger.
though. He even changes lighting just to hit that effect. I love that.
I have a light going, but it's just not that powerful, you know.
Enosh, did you take the kids out yet?
My kids don't go trick or treating. I have a 19, a 16, and a 15-year-old.
They just do what I do and go to Walmart and get like a random bag of candy. And
You know
call
what?
it a day.
My kids never went out trick or treating. My kids hated going trick or treating. We just always bought them a ton of candy. Yeah,
Wow.
no, dude, trick or treating hasn't been a thing, man, in like 15 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
Everybody's scared to death to go trick or treating. They go to parties, they go to trunk or treats, they go to people's houses. That's all they do.
That's,
Man.
what is
Nobody-
that? A trunk or treat?
So trunk or treat is like a thing they do at churches. It's where like you have like a bunch of little booths with using your trucks and
Oh, you just do it from your trunk.
yeah, you
Pretty
do it from
much,
your
yeah.
trunk. Yeah.
It's a safe,
And you go
controlled
around-
environment.
Yeah, it's a safe and controlled environment. Yeah, it's cool.
What do
I
you
just-
You get a ton of candy. You know, you do your thing.
Again, like, or you could just be me and go to Walmart and get that random bag that has like different candies in it and call it a day.
Exactly.
There's
Or it
only
could be
one.
your worst nightmare. Ah!
Oh, no, mine was Nightmare Comes
What
in
do you- what do
April.
What are you?
DL, DL. I gotta say, DL, your costume is absolutely horrifying.
Damn.
Appreciate it.
It gives me nightmares.
Oh no, 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 DL,
Hold
don't you
on,
do
hold
that.
on. Pause.
Cut you in two.
Enosh, what are you supposed to be? Freddy Krueger's brother-in-law?
What the fuck?
I told you he's going to
Yeah.
What
Freddy
the
got
heck are
fingered.
you supposed to be?
A furry?
A
Something that crawled up my
She's-
butt?
She is
Ah!
That's
She's fantastic, Mrs.
Felix
Fox.
Krueger.
You're something I use to go after the kitties. Ah, scare
Oh,
them a
my
little
Lord.
Did you just say you wanted me up your butt?
I think
I'm okay with this.
She's not a
You okay with
gerbil,
that?
dude.
I'm okay.
Bring it
What?
on.
Wow. What has happened? I think
I-
we've already lost
You're
control.
the one who let us
You
come
have
up
lost
the
control of the
costume.
stream, and
I
you know
said
it's getting to a point where I lose control of my streams. I don't even have like that many people on.
I've
It's just
lost
you and me,
control.
and like chaos.
No,
chaos
it's me
ensues.
and Jimbo just goes bananas.
Ladies, we gotta get it together. Get it together. Bring it back. Bring it back.
Yes,
Well,
sir.
as I was saying, no, I'm just kidding. I like the anarchy, but is there a certain like a horror movie that you watch during the season that gets you in the mood?
Nightmare for Christmas.
Real quick,
Yes,
to
I'm watching that tonight.
answer Foxy Melon's question. Here's the thing: I could put on the face makeup. I did it a couple years ago, but it all started falling off because I had like pieces of flesh and stuff falling off, and it didn't look good. It just made it look like I had brown makeup on, which was not a good look. So I just went upstairs and I washed it all off. I teased out my hair and I came back as Bob Ross. It was an interesting party, to say the
There's
least.
no
I started off
mistake,
as Freddy
just have
Krueger and I
reaction.
came back. Yeah.
What
Well,
a
I mean-
transition!
Right?
Ty-
So wait, you had poop on your face? Is that what you're saying? It looked like you had poop on your face?
No, it just looked like I had brown and red makeup, but it was all blurred together because I had like these flesh
There's an
pieces
OBJ
like all over
joke
my
or
face
something.
too
Looks
to
like
have
poop.
the burned look. But when all the flesh pieces started falling off, it might have looked like Freddy Krueger was like racially insensitive. So I totally just left the
If
party.
you
Well, I
watch
mean,
Freddy
the
versus
problem-
Jason, you know
Okay.
that Freddy's already racially insensitive.
True
I
that.
mean, the
Ah!
The
He
creature
is
from the
very
Black Lagoon was
racially
one color
insensitive.
off from being racially insensitive. So there's that.
But you are right. He definitely is pretty racially insensitive.
I'm an equal opportunity killer. Ah!
It was great.
I killed the red and yellow, black and white. They're all dead in my sight.
Oh God!
Fr-
One,
Freddy kills
two,
the
Freddy's coming
children
for
of the
you.
world.
Freddy versus Jason.
Hey,
was
Brian, what's going
actually
on?
What's up, guys?
first,
Master of the
Um,
ladies.
Hey, I know who that is. It's not that hard. That's my friend Brian as Picard. Ha! I can rap too.
Yeah,
my
so
Lord.
Macho Man thought he could rap too, and then he released a god awful album.
Hey. Listen.
Oh no! Why did you do that? Why'd you you say
This
it.
is
Oh,
pretty-
here it
Oh
goes.
yeah, let me tell you something,
Pretty
Hogan.
shape-shifting.
Let me tell you something, Hogan. I'll be
No,
your
no.
one's worst nightmare. I'll be Freddy Krueger as Macho Man Randy Savage. That's a nightmare for you. Ha!
Oh,
my God.
shit.
Yeah, you know, I figured you would have been Savage tonight.
None of you were ready.
I
can't do it.
figured.
I
I
can't.
saw
You're
that.
ready for
With
what
this
I'm
mask
about
on.
to pull off. I'm about to get in the ring and I'm about to claw my way to the top, if you know what I mean. Yeah.
Oh my
Oh
god.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Am I in
When
an
it's going
herbal
wrong,
essence?
it's fascinating.
And there goes the death of my innocence.
Yes. No.
Oh,
but
Like it was
Trouble
there in the
Trouble.
first
Wow.
place.
So what's up, Ty?
Who's watching this thing, by the way?
Freddy vs. Jason was the first horror movie that I saw with boobs, and because I didn't really like
Wait, your
horror
first
when I was
boob movie
growing
wasn't
up.
Hold on.
Howard the Duck?
I didn't like.
Hold on. Does Freddy versus Jason have boobs in it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When,
Oh,
when he
yes.
kills
Yeah.
her up against
Oh,
the tree,
I guess if
Kinda.
you're hired in that movie.
right
most
up
of 'em
against the
do.
tree in the beginning.
So, like, Ty, to
Oh,
answer your
yeah.
question,
Oh, yeah. You're right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Okay.
I've been watching a bunch of quote unquote horror movies to get in the spirit, but I'll be honest, I'm kind of lackluster. I haven't reviewed anything actually scary, and that kind of disappoints me.
I don't do scary movies either.
I watched the new Paranormal Activity movie today.
Ooh, how
There's
was
a
it?
new one?
There's a new one. Yeah, it's on Paramount Plus.
How
Oh,
was it?
it's probably-
How was
trash.
Springs on Doors the movie?
Well, I would be able to hear what he was saying.
No, you know what? So I love the Paranormal Activity
Same.
series personally. Tiffany and I, when we started dating, the first movie that we ever saw together was Paranormal Activity, and it just
Oh.
became a thing. The first one is brilliant. The first one is amazing.
So good.
The second one is a great continuation, yet prequel. And it was really good. The third one is where it starts to go off the rails a little bit, but because it had the little girls in it, it was still creepy. By the time you get to the fourth one, you're like, okay, we're not really going anywhere with this. We're just gonna keep kind of doing the same thing over and over again. And then they did the marked ones, which was like, hey, we're gonna do it in Spanish. So there you go. You know,
I like
and
the
then
marked
It
ones,
becomes
though.
Chronicle.
The marked ones was good because
Right.
it actually got more into the
No.
lore.
it did. But you know, the thing is though, did you ever watch? You know, the best one of all was never even a movie. It was the Facebook tie-in.
Yes.
Did you see the
Not
Facebook
Unfriended.
tie-in?
Yes.
No, there was a Facebook
Okay,
I
tie-in.
haven't seen
Yes,
it, but I've heard you
people-
talk about it. It sounds
People
really cool.
totally missed the Facebook tie-in, and I came upon it by accident. There's this dude; he had just had a regular Facebook page, and it was him and his daughter, and he had just gone through a divorce, and he just looked like a normal guy. And so you would friend him, and then he started uploading these videos of some weird stuff that was going on in his house, and then by the end of it, his daughter gets possessed. And you can tell that it like totally goes along with the Paranormal Activity thing. And his she had a bird, and she was talking to a demon. She had a pet bird, and she named the pet bird Toby, which is the demon in the Paranormal Activity series. And so it got really, really weird. And then at the end, the guy gets killed by Toby, the demon, gets folded in half, dude.
Dude,
It's like
wild.
it's and the way that they did it,
Oh.
like where it looked like it was a real dude just on Facebook that you were friends with, was fantastic. And it happened over days. So you got to see it like just like they would do it in the movie, but you got to see it like you got to wake up the next day to like, hey, I uploaded another video. Things are really going crazy, you know, and stuff. And he was really worried about his daughter. But the dude gets folded up at the end by the demon. And one of the witches from the coven is the little girl's mom and comes and claims the daughter and
Dude,
walks
so
out
good.
with the demon. It's crazy. It's
I
really
highly
good.
recommend
Bro,
it.
can we just talk about why a demon is named Toby? Like, they got some very, like, basic white guy named
Which
generic.
is-
Hey, now
Especially
look,
Shreem.
if it's Toby the demon or anybody else, Toby is a great name for a demon.
Now,
Great name
Shreem
for a
pointed
demon, not a
out
great
on the
name for a
stream, which
Spider-Man.
I forgot about.
Toby's such a
was
generic
Rowan-
name.
Yeah. Well, something I forgot about, Shree pointed out on another stream, was that Rowan Atkinson had a bit that Toby was the demon that welcomes
Yes.
you into hell.
Yes.
So like he's
Yeah.
breaking down all, okay, you know, these guys go this way, you know, the Christians come this way because the Jewish people were right, you know. It's such a, by the way, if you haven't seen that sketch, it is really funny.
Great sketch.
I highly
Great
recommend it.
But the new one has absolutely nothing to do with the original series.
What? How can it be a paranormal activity then?
I
Did
don't.
they, like,
well,
they
because there's
veered off?
because there's paranormal activity that happens.
Yeah.
But no,
Wow.
it's about this girl. Basically, it's weird. It's about this girl who finds out that her mom gave her up, like dropped her off at a hospital, and so she never knew her parents. She never knew where she really came from, and she comes into contact with this guy who she finds out that her heritage is this Amish community, and so they decide to make this documentary of her friend who like makes movies and stuff, and they decide to make a documentary about her going back and finding out about her heritage. The problem with this movie is there is I don't want to give it away, but there's the paranormal activity. It's not like the other movies where it's like it builds, where it's like, it builds a little bit. They still do the like this day, this day, this day, this day. But the problem is it doesn't build the same. They save it all almost for the end. It makes total sense at the end, I think, and it's like, oh, there's like a twist to it, and it's pretty cool actually how they end it. It's pretty freaky, but it's worth it. It's just that, like, if it was any other movie, you would go, yeah, that's a good scary movie. But because they try to make it a paranormal activity movie, it because it doesn't have anything to do with the lore of paranormal activity, that world, I don't know. Yeah, it falls flat a little bit, but it's really not a bad movie. I can't really blame the movie itself. So,
Okay. Well, if anyone has Paramount Plus, definitely check it out.
Yeah.
The best autocorrect I've ever seen.
Yeah, don't disrespect
insult
Tibet.
Yeah, those Tibetan
Damn it.
monks are not to be messed with.
You guys ever seen that movie, Devil?
yes,
No.
best movie ever.
No, but
Dude.
I've heard of it.
It's not the best movie ever, but
It
it's
trash.
better.
Scared,
Shut up,
better
dude.
Shyamalan movies.
dude. It is
No.
one of the
You
best
and me!
horror movies- one
You
of
and
the
me,
best horror
DL.
movies ever.
I'll ghost bust you. I'll ghost bust you right where you don't like it.
Oh my
Crazy.
lord!
Yeah, be quiet.
Is that a euphemism?
It's a bad film. I don't
No,
like
it's
it either.
not.
Oh,
It
you
is.
gotta be
Great
kidding
movie.
me.
Dude.
No,
I
it's not.
still
It's
can't get
dumb.
in elevators.
It's so
because
dumb,
of
dude.
it.
It's so dumb.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah,
I don't
break
even
it
think I
down
could be
for 'em.
here. I don't even think I could be here. Metaverse, you're banned from the lounge. There's no way. There's no way you can tell me that Devil is a bad movie. Devil is the greatest
is a
movie
bad movie.
ever about redemption, about forgiveness.
For
Like,
sure.
you wouldn't think it from a movie called Devil,
For sure,
but-
though.
but like the stuff that happens in that movie. No, I'm sorry.
Let's just say it's not. Not only the elevator was going down, but my expectations and my interests were as well. They were all going downhill fast.
I just think it was your perception went down.
Nah,
I'm with Enosh on this one because that movie. Me and my ex-girlfriend, we used to do this thing. We would watch like crappy Netflix horror movies.
Mm-hmm.
And we came across that one, not knowing
it wasn't
was
a crappy
actually-
Netflix horror movie. It's
that
a
you
Night
didn't like the
Shyamalan film.
Snyder cut. So I mean, your taste for film is pretty terrible already.
Wait, so what?
This is true. Ah!
You don't like the Snyder cut, so I
I
don't
didn't
trust
say
you.
I
He gave
don't
it a
like
6
the
out of
Snyder
10.
cut. I
I
gave
don't
the Snyder
trust-
cut a proper, accurate rating, and I've been getting shit for it ever since.
I don't know, man.
3 out of 5 is not
Well,
bad.
well, meta, you give what you get what you give. Just saying.
I
maybe-
give out
Get what you
kindness and goodwill. Does that mean I get it in return? No, I get shitted on.
I haven't
Maybe-
seen any kindness or goodwill.
Maybe it was because I went in with that expectation
Oh,
of being a
that's-
crappy movie.
Wow.
But
I got my next movie lined up right now. It's called Freddy versus Meta Ghostbuster DL.
You know,
Well, I mean, let's talk about this then. Let's talk about again. I didn't
DL,
care
why don't
for-
you just drive up the road? Come on up and see me here in the lounge.
yeah,
Nightmare Lounge.
I didn't care for
Up
American
across
Werewolf
your
in London
streets.
either. I didn't
I'm
care
gonna,
for that either.
I'm gonna do a new show called. I like this aesthetic. This aesthetic is kind of cool.
Yeah,
Like
that's kinda cool.
I'm gonna do the Nightmare Lounge now and just talk about horror movies.
Yeah, man.
That'd be great.
We used to do something similar where we would just turn off all the lights, have like a nice red hue. Oh man, I
Like
miss it.
I don't know if I'm. Hold on, yeah. Let's see if we can still stay in an alliance on this one. Because Your thoughts on American Werewolf in London? Because again, dude, I just couldn't get into that. Like, I'm sorry.
Oh,
Like, it's just.
oh, that's right. You know, like, dude, you are bad.
No.
Screw
Let me.
that.
Can I explain? Can I explain this, please? Because like I knew someone that built this movie up for like 2 years to me, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get to it. I finally get to it. I'm waiting to be scared out of my pants. It didn't do
Dude, the movie
that.
came out in like 1980.
I understand. Dude,
That's
no.
not an
Out of
excuse.
all the like 80s were banger after banger for movies, so I'm expecting this to be a pretty decent.
Let me
movie.
just tell you something. Let me just tell you something. I have a Nightmare in American Werewolf in London werewolf action figure coming that is absolute fire, because that werewolf transformation
Yes.
and the werewolf in general is amazing. It is the scariest thing to be trapped. Have you ever been in a subway?
No. Let me.
Yeah.
Have you ever
explain.
been in a subway?
Let me explain.
I take it every day.
I think the transformation to the werewolf is still one of the best like shot transformations in Hollywood. Still,
Yeah.
like, I'll agree with that. I will agree. Hold on. I will agree with that. I will agree with that. But how the werewolf looks itself, it's an interesting take, because most werewolves would go, bipedal with how it's more man than wolf, but this one is more wolf than man.
Mhm.
So I appreciate that, but when I see it walking in third person, it just took everything out for me, because like the first person shots, I'm like, oh, this is actually like a legitimate threat. This is actually killing people. I wanted more. If anything, I wanted him to live with more of the consequences. Like, he keeps trying to kill himself, but for
So
some
let
reason,
me
he keeps
get
getting
this straight.
bought.
Because you wanted more of the movie. The movie's bad.
The movie is bad because like it kind of ends itself short just because like of.
Let me
time
explain
limit.
something to you about movies. This is the same argument people use against Jared Leto's Joker. Jared Leto's Joker sucks because I didn't get to know more about him. I want to know more about him. That means it was an interesting character that we need more character development from other films and actually to flesh it out. Here's the thing. American Werewolf in London is the story of one werewolf, one guy who is attacked, becomes a werewolf. He brushes it off. He acts like it's not going to happen, and he pays the consequences for it. Plus, the people that he does kill, plus it's a kind of a pseudo comedy. It's a dark comedy as well. I mean, when you literally have the guy who becomes the werewolf sitting in a porno theater talking to the people that he's killed and his dead friend who's trying to get him to commit suicide, because if he doesn't, he's going to kill more people. And they're pissed off at him and they're arguing with him from the other side because he killed them. And they're like, we had a good life and you killed us. Dude, that is so, talk about meta. That is meta.
I wanted more. That's what I wanted more of that. I wanted there to be like, because if you think about it, like, imagine he didn't kill himself, all right? Imagine he didn't die. Imagine being a werewolf for a decade. That is a graveyard of people just following you, telling you to kill yourself. I wanted more of that. I'm like,
but that's not the movie, dude.
You're on the internet. You got plenty of it.
Meta's mask is really doing it for me right now.
Is that why you've been gone this whole time?
Saggy? It's a whole
No,
vibe.
I'm friggin' hot. This costume, like outdoors, this costume's fine when there's wind. I'm friggin' sweaty as hell. Wait, I'm sorry, what? Did you just ask me?
You've been rubbing yourself behind the curtains?
No, I'm hot.
All right, we're live right now, my dude.
Yeah,
anyway, the other problem I have with it, and this isn't just a peg for American Werewolf in London. This is just a peg, and I'm going to say this later tonight when I talk about the Universal Monster movies. I don't like abrupt endings. Those things just irritated me because I'm like,
happy endings.
Did you like?
I'm
Dune?
so spoiled. I'm honestly a spoiled child of modern movies that give me a resolution to stories, because it's like the monster's dead, roll credits, and I'm like, wait, no.
Yes, that's your resolution. The monster died.
Did you like Dune?
I haven't seen Dune yet.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
My uncle did though, and he said he loved it. It's definitely better than the 80s one.
It's really good.
Meta, can I ask you a question?
What's up?
Can you do me what the fuck?
What was that?
Foghorn.
Okay,
That was me
Meta.
doing the start a car throat singing thing.
Okay, Meta, do me a favor. Can you just do me a favor? Blink now.
It blinks on its own.
Don't blink. Blink and you're dead.
Okay. I thought it blinks when you blinked. I was freaking
CW?
out.
No,
We're
it
not
does
gonna
blink
mention those
every
things
couple
tonight.
seconds, though.
Okay, because I was gonna say I thought it was blinking when you blinked, which would have been kind of cool. I was like,
Oh
damn,
no! If it was that intuitive, I would want this thing to be like more on my face, like like instead of just like a hockey mask or like Taskmaster's mask, I would want it to be like more like like Deadpool's mask.
Now, are
Yeah.
you changing the color, or is it like, are you?
I can change the color. Like,
no, but I'm saying, like, when you were talking, like, for some reason it started, like, when you were getting, like, a little heated, it turned red. And I was like, is that intentional? Does it sense your feelings? Is it like a mood ring?
So, like, when I shake my head no, it can say no, and when I shake my head yes, it can say yes.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Very
So
cool.
it's semi-intuitive.
God,
It's semi-intuitive. We're getting there, folks. I'm almost there.
Cool,
This is just like a prototype, by the way. This is a prototype mock-up suit that I just wanted to wear for Halloween. I'm going to work on the actual full costume.
Oh, that's
soon.
awesome. Enosh, I got a question for you. Have you used the bathroom yet?
What?
Because I'm wondering if he accidentally wiped with the other hand.
Oh.
I hope you would take the gloves off for that.
Ooh, I almost turned my camera on. I was like, I can't do that now.
Poindexter Lounge.
Oh, that's so cool.
So I see you've also been to the future.
Yes.
Well,
I can program them to do what? Hold on a second. I can program them to do different things.
Just like, so I guess you could say I really didn't hate the film, Enosh. It's just that I was disappointed. I wanted more. I'll say this: I had the same feelings after watching 2049, Blade Runner 2049. I loved the film. I wanted more.
Yeah,
and it was 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Yeah, you hush.
I didn't really like
too fucking long.
No, it's too short.
That's because I didn't get it too much. I didn't see the first Blade Runner, so I want to go back.
The second was okay.
Sorry, what? So what? This is coming from the person that still thinks Ghostbusters 2 is bad. So in 2016 is better.
Again, Ghostbusters 2 is bad.
It's not though.
It's bad.
Where's Matt at? Please tell me Matt's coming in.
Nostalgia glasses on so hard.
Matt has kids. He had to take them out trick or treating or something like that, or he took them on Grubhub deliveries or something. I don't know. One of the
Grubhub
two.
Delivering candy.
Yeah, one of the two.
Seriously though, Enosh, I need to get a pair of those glasses. Those are like super. Like they go like. I'm thinking of doing like a backup set of like something to do with it.
My movies are money, baby.
Really? How'd that reboot?
Question,
I wasn't
guys.
in the reboot.
The reboot was fine. The reboot honestly was fine. I did not hate the reboot of Nightmare. Actually,
I have a question for everybody.
Yes.
So, what do you guys think about the Eternals getting ransacked a little bit?
Makes me want to see it even more.
To be fair, like the stuff that I've seen, I am not. This is the one Marvel movie I'm not interested in, like at all. Like I'm not liking what I'm seeing from this movie, and it has nothing to do with the cast or anything like that. It's just like I said this on RJ's show. The color palette looks bland as hell. The story just is like
I'll give you that.
It's just has anyone seen the special effects, especially that clip of Angelina Jolie fighting that's been going around on Twitter? Like that looks bad. It looks really bad to me.
What do you mean it looks bad?
It looks the CGI looks terrible.
I'll give you this. The color palette is definitely wrong compared to like the source material. It's supposed to be a lot more colorful.
Of course, people like like you know who wrote the Eternals comics, Ty?
Mm-hmm.
Jack Kirby. I expect a Jack Kirby color palette for this type of movie, especially since it's supposed to be
it's almost like the reverse of. It's like the reverse of what they did with the movie that theatrically was released as Justice League. If they had that color palette in the Eternals, it would be more comic accurate.
Yes,
but it didn't make sense. It didn't make sense for the context of the actual movie it's in.
Did Joss Whedon and this director just decide to do tradesies on color palette day because I'm gonna say this, and I'm not saying this as an insult per se, but I'm like the color palette it reminds me of a Snyder film because Zack doesn't do big bright colors like that, and that's like his style, but it just doesn't work for this for me. Like it just.
Anyone else have thoughts?
Austin's got an interesting question.
I've got thoughts on it. I've got thoughts.
My man.
So here's the thing. I had absolutely no inkling or intention or excitement about watching Eternals at all, to be honest with you. I really didn't care.
Okay.
After now seeing that they're going with this, that the tomato meter is down and people are comparing it, I'm actually interested now because usually the MCU movies that people don't like as much are the ones that I end up enjoying more. And that's not to say I don't enjoy. For some reason, I got in this bad rep as like not enjoying Marvel movies, and I do enjoy Marvel movies. I'm more of a DC guy, is all. But I also recognize the hypocrisies with people who slam on DC movies, and then the hypocrisies that they overlook in a Marvel movie, for example.
Fact.
Yeah.
But so the thing is like with Eternals, I really don't like. If you just ask me like, Enosh, do you care about Eternals? Nope, I do not. I don't care about it. I really don't. To me, it looks overplayed. To me, it looks over dramatic, and it's like they're trying to make a big deal about something that I really don't care about. After we've already spent 20 some odd movies being focused on something else, then all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, but hey, here's the most important thing." I'm getting sick of Marvel now telling me that this is the most important thing just for it to be over in a little while. I mean, the Infinity Stones were the MacGuffin of how many movies that like, hey, we're going to get the Infinity Stones. And then now when they decided to go multiverse and they had the variants and everything, they literally got a drawer full of Infinity Stones, and it just doesn't matter. And when they talk about time travel, they're like, well, it's bad for anybody else to go into the time stream or go into the multiverse, but the way that the Avengers did it, that's okay. That's fine, right? And then from there, it's like, oh well, guess what? Now there's these people called the Eternals who are the most important thing, and look at all the stuff they can do. And then we know that's going to last. That's going to last. Yeah, oh yeah, and then it's what if, and now we got the Watcher involved, and that's the most important thing. And then we all know that that's not going to mean anything in just a couple of movies when they start introducing the Fantastic
Spider-Man
Four
and
the Spider-Verse, and then it's going to be eventually, God knows when. But the X-Men will somehow play into it. And so it's like, now I'm just kind of tired. I'm not wrong, RJ. RJ, I'm not wrong. I'm absolutely right.
No.
It's getting tiring.
Here's what RJ says. Nope.
RJ, are you here? Are you here?
I'll
haunt your nightmares, buddy. I'll haunt your nightmares.
There are people online that are starting to get that superhero fatigue. The superhero bubble is about to finally burst because of films like Eternals, where
I've been saying this for a while.
So here's the thing. I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with superhero movies. What I have a problem is the Marvel formula. They've got to change it. They've got to change it up, because it can't just be the same thing over and over again. And look, I get why they're doing it. They're regurgitating it because the people who like Marvel movies and love Marvel movies eat it up. And we all feel like we got to go see the latest Marvel movie, because otherwise we're going to be left behind somehow. We're not going to know what the story is. Right. And that's why we get drug out to a movie like Captain Marvel that just hits right in the middle of people felt like they had to watch it, and it made $1 billion, not because it was $1 billion movie, but because it was right before Avengers, right before Endgame, and we felt like we had to see it to be connected. There was actually, Captain Marvel really wasn't horrible. It wasn't, everybody was saying it was woke and it was SJW. None of that stuff. There was none of that in there. The problem was it was a bland movie. You drop that movie in the middle of it just by itself, right? You just drop that movie by itself. It has no connection to the MCU. That movie does not make $1 billion. That movie only made $1 billion because it's MCU adjacent. Here's my thing about Eternals. I had no desire to see Eternals. When they start comparing it to other things, that starts to tell me that you know what, I may actually enjoy it. But it's got two things going against me, and this I know is a hot take. And RJ, we've had this argument though at nauseum. I get it. Phase 4 is coming. I know Phase 4 is coming. There's going to be 30 more years of Marvel greatness. It still would have made money.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
Still would have made money. Money, yes, it still would have made money, but it would not have made $1 billion. You can't tell me that Captain Marvel is $1 billion movie. It's not.
I don't think
bland.
It would. If it was not in front of Endgame, no one would have went to see it.
Listen, RJ, we know you like Brie Larson's feet. We get it.
We get it. But I love RJ. But here's the thing. No, I'm just at the point.
Better than Wonder Woman.
No, it wasn't.
Which one?
You are out of your mind.
Hold on, Brian. Which one?
I hated Wonder Woman.
You are
the
out
first
of
one.
your mind.
Dude,
Oh my gosh,
dude.
you're out of your
It
mind.
was, it was
84
Captain
maybe?
America in World War One. Thank you very much.
No,
End
it
of
wasn't.
discussion.
No,
Okay,
it
No, it
wasn't.
wasn't.
What was
Not at
Captain
all,
Marvel?
dude.
What was
No.
Captain
Dude,
The only
you're
thing
totally
missing was the Tesseract and the dude with the red face.
really,
Shut
you're
up.
totally
You mean the Red
you're
Skull?
totally overlooking the fact that she comes from Themyscira and that there's a totally different mindset of like why she's there and what she's doing, other than like she's not a super soldier. She doesn't come from weakness to come
Well,
and
you have to
overcome
understand
all
what
that
my
stuff.
mindset was when I watched that
Just because
movie.
it's part of a war?
No. I'm
don't
just saying, like, I was just there to enjoy it, to have a good time. I wasn't looking in depth to like
Bad
the
take.
Themysciran parts of it and stuff like that.
Okay, well
On a
then you didn't
surface
watch.
level viewing of the first time I watched that movie, I thought, hey, this is Captain America.
Then you need to look
in World War
deeper,
One.
man. Here's the problem.
I know
then.
that.
Here's the problem then. If you're watching movies just on a surface level and you go, well, there's a war here and there's a superhero back in time, and then hey, there's a war here and a superhero back in time. Then you compare the two like that, then you're not doing a fair service to the movie that you're watching and you're representing and you're forming an opinion on. This is why I haven't said I hated Dune, because I didn't enjoy Dune. Right? It wasn't really my thing. It really wasn't my thing. But
Damn.
I understand why people like Dune, and I don't judge Dune harshly.
And I
on it because
understand why
get it.
Enosh disliked Dune. Or
I
didn't
get it.
enjoy
I
the
get it.
film.
I'm being
Yeah.
fair. I'm trying to be fair to it because I understand what it is. But like I understand your complaints about Dune because I see the same things. There's a lot of like comparisons that like we've already seen in other movies that were ironically inspired by Dune to begin with. So it's like really meta, right? You know, it's like we're not enjoying the thing that actually inspired the things that we did enjoy, that showed us those things first, even though they came second. Like it's weird. But Eternals, I'm going to see Eternals, but I know this is a hot take, and this one you guys can all get me on. I'm not a big fan of Salma Hayek, and I'm not a big fan of Angelina Jolie. So this movie was just not hitting it on all cylinders for me.
Right.
But I will definitely see it. I'm going to see it. But look, anybody, RJ, the third act of Wonder Woman, let the movie down.
Unless
oh my
you're
gosh!
A hardcore comic
Like,
book fan, you're not going to know who the Eternals are. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, but Wonder Woman, the first Wonder
What
Woman
is he
movie,
saying right now? Like
the first Wonder Woman movie is such a good movie. It is such a good movie.
I think they're
And I agree on that
incomparable.
front.
Are we still fighting the notion that Captain Marvel is better? Because it's
Yeah,
not.
there's people out
no,
there.
it's really not though.
Right.
Like
I've never seen it, so I can't.
You know,
judge.
I thought as an origin film, it was a lot more original than Wonder Woman.
it's
that's-
just.
Oh
I'm
my
sorry, that's my
gosh.
opinion.
It's literally the-
Hey guys, you
Oh
know
my
what?
gosh.
I'm gonna
For
tell
the
you right
90s
now,
though.
like I'm not a very hardcore DC stan when it comes to at the end of the day. So like
That's true.
I kind of have a feeling that I understand a little bit more what the general audience tends to think of things.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
with regards to DC at least, no, I'm sorry, man. A lot of people perceive that movie just like Captain America. At the end of it, when Chris Pine is flying off in the distance, what's the difference between him crashing in an iceberg or him blowing up in an explosion?
A lot.
It's still
a lot.
Oh, I mean,
a lot, dude.
Not really if you account that he comes back in the next movie. So it's
no, because he
Okay,
doesn't
that
come.
I call bullshit on, but
No, hold on. Wait.
Dude, I don't want to argue with you guys on this one because I really don't care. I'm just
I
trying
know,
to
but hold
glasses
on.
on.
No, dude, I'm not arguing. I'm not mad at you. I'm just saying. Hold on. You cannot compare though.
glasses
You
say
can't compare
otherwise.
Captain
Yes, I can.
America at the end just because he's in an airplane to what
Jesus
Steve Rogers does because he's in an airplane. They do two totally different things.
No. These are the kind of nitpicks that drive me nuts sometimes. It's cool. I'm good.
But how is it a
Drive you
nitpick?
nuts.
It's absolutely a
nitpick
different
No,
thing.
it's just the fine tooth combing of a movie that we do online, and I get it, man.
I'm not fine tooth combing it though, man. I'm literally saying
it's all good, man.
Steve Rogers literally saves everybody by flying off and blowing himself up. Or not Steve Rogers.
Steve Trevor.
Steve Trevor
I
flies off because he doesn't have the power. He doesn't have all that, but yet he saves the day. He is a regular human, sacrifices himself, when Wonder Woman is taking care of the other thing, because he knows he's the only one who can. He's got the expertise to be able to do that, and he sacrifices himself. Steve Rogers, yes, makes a sacrificial thing, but it's not the same at all. Just because they both do a sacrificial thing in an airplane, I mean, like, dude, that's why, like, this is not a DC Stan thing versus anything else. Captain Marvel was better than Wonder Woman 84. But it wasn't better than that first Wonder Woman movie. First Wonder Woman movie is, and I don't say this ironically or stupidly, it is cinema. It is really, really good.
Enoch, would you say that without the success of Wonder Woman, that Captain Marvel probably wouldn't have had like the push, like the what am I trying to say?
For sure.
Yeah, it was the success that Kevin Feige was able to go and be like, hey, Wonder Woman did great. We can make our own female superhero movie. Let's do it.
Yes. Because Marvel was actually scared to pull the trigger on a female
led
because there were so many god awful ones in the 2000s.
Hey, Brian.
Brian, don't take it personally, bro.
No, I just think you guys are missing the point. Like,
I agree. Look, I think Wonder Woman was a shock of a movie to me.
Hold on. Why are you decked out right now, bro?
Pop out of the freezer.
Why you in a 3-piece suit? Why you going to an interview?
You're like, no. Don't you know if you dress up in a suit on Halloween, you can be anybody? That's just kind of the go-to.
You look like your customer support. Guys, this is Jake at State Farm. This is Jake at State Farm, but I got a promotion, so I no longer wear khakis and a polo.
Yo,
supervisor.
Let me get that insurance, bro.
Yo, I'm dead.
No,
hey man, so my premium isn't as good as it used to be. Can I get a new one?
I appreciate the shirt and tie look.
I know.
Oh,
I don't have a costume. I just figure I can say I'm anybody.
I feel like I've been on the phone. I feel like I've been on the phone with Picard down here, and he's arguing. I'm like, hey, can I speak to your supervisor, please? The guy in the tie.
Yeah, I'm missing my comm badge. It was supposed to come in the mail. This one's plastic. The metal one, please. And I also ordered a phaser. Yeah, that's a phaser.
You ordered a laser? With a phaser! With a phaser!
Phaser! I said a phaser!
Now he's a...
Unfortunately,
it wasn't in the budget. Unfortunately, Brian, it wasn't in the budget for you to get a comm badge, so they had to give you a tricorder.
Wait, pause. Austin has to do something before this goes any longer. Austin, for the love of God, just for me, and then I'll shut the hell up, and you guys can go back to arguing. Please just look dead in the camera and be like, thank you for calling Microsoft Tech Support.
Please don't do that.
God,
please,
no.
Please
hey,
don't.
Ty, you put disclaimers in front of
I think I can get away with it because I'm not white, so I think I think I can do
it. You need to put disclaimers, Ty.
But I can't get away with it
now.
No, but you're not doing it.
You're platforming it.
You need disclaimers now.
You know what, Ty? I don't want your team to walk out on you, so I won't do it.
Yeah, I've already got them close enough. So
to do a union stand,
put them through the door.
So RJ here says they weren't scared, meaning Marvel. RJ says Marvel wasn't scared. It was the Perlmutter saying no.
Ike Perlmutter.
Ike Perlmutter. Okay, that means guess what? They didn't want to do it because they didn't believe in it.
Yes.
Did they do it? No. No.
Elektra
did they do it?
Catwoman sucked.
Yeah. Well, did Marvel have the guts to do it until they saw that it was proof of concept by DC actually pulling it off? No. You can't spin it any other way to say, well, this person didn't want to do it. And then guess what? They didn't do it because of that. They just didn't do it.
I'll say this in defense of DC. Like, this is the thing that Marvel's been trying to do for decades. DC Feige may have wanted to do it, but did they do it?
No.
One person wanting to do it doesn't mean Feige, even in all his great power, couldn't make it happen until it was proven it could work.
The times had to come first. The time had to come first before
it just had to happen, dude.
But like what I was going to say, and I'll give DC props. Like the one thing Marvel Comics failed in was a solo female superhero. Like they had, DC had Wonder Woman. They had Wonder Woman and a bunch of others. Every female hero that Marvel had was either part of an echelon team or they didn't have any solos for the most part.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. DC, people can argue a lot about DC and what they like and what they don't like. The one thing I feel like you just can't argue with was Wonder Woman, the movie, good? because Wonder Woman the movie was
Tremendous.
so fantastic. It was universally praised. Like
Tremendous.
it was just universally praised and tremendous. So, that's great that Feige believed in it, but that's why he broke away and gave them an ultimate. Yeah, eventually. But why did he do that, dude? Because it was proven. The process was proven, man. That's the whole. I agree.
This a lot more debated in just like a few minutes.
No, yeah, I know. I mean, I absolutely agree. Feige wanted to do it, but the thing is he didn't do it at first. Like that.
I agree. I don't think they're even comparable. Captain Marvel and Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman was this ode to cinema, whereas Captain Marvel was another formulaic Marvel film.
And the last act was absolute cringe. The entire time I wanted to claw my eyes out.
Which one?
Where they play like that one song while she's kicking ass in space.
Which movie?
Captain Marvel.
Okay.
I mean, the third act in Wonder Woman wasn't great to me.
No, it wasn't.
But it's better than the third act in Captain Marvel. That was
yes,
cringe.
yes, it is.
No, it isn't.
I said yes.
I
agree with you. I said I agree.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah,
I'm just saying. I'm so used to us being on different sides of the fence.
We can agree on stuff. What
was that,
You can, but it's rare.
Pick a guy up off the street and ask him which one he liked better. You know what I'm saying? Okay, like
now you listen to me. I will tell you this.
God.
Oh my
He's
Lord.
back. Jennifer.
I am Jennifer Lopez, and I will tell you this: eat a taco and a burrito, and just know this.
Bueno. That is not
you do not tell me what to do. I am Jennifer Lopez.
Who?
I'm explaining why you have as many rings as Thanos.
We just reached our limit for the first time. I think
She's got about as much rings as Tom Brady. So, like, the point is,
he has as many rings as
Ben
Tom
can
Brady.
get Jen back, Ben can get Tom back.
Yeah, I agree. I hope. I really do. But that kind of transition. Let Brian say what he's going to say. Brian, I love you very much, Brian. You are my Brian, and I love you very much. Brian, if you want my taco flavored kisses,
South Park.
I give Brian all my taco flavored kisses. Go ahead, Brian. You already said your square.
Well, how about this?
First, you got the SML.
One of my favorite scary movies is the Omen trilogy.
What the hell?
I love those.
Yes.
I lost my train of thought, and then honestly, I don't want to.
I happen to just look at the private chat, and I see something. I'm not gonna say that out loud. I don't.
I walked back into that, JP. I left to go get my pop out of the freezer. I read that, and that's why I was laughing when I came back.
Yeah, no, I don't know what to say about that. Hey, TW, do they have any anti you know what medicine in Canada we can get for free? Bring that shit down here.
Anti what? God. Red Sox? Yeah, there's lots of it up here.
Hey, Austin, you might need to turn your camera off, bro. You might need to turn your camera off. You driving some people crazy backstage.
Oh,
I have no idea what's going on.
What?
Right now.
Oh, yeah.
You just saw that. Sasha wrote.
Got it. Yeah, that happened.
Turn your camera off. Make me feel insecure.
Hello. I'm sorry.
Taco flavor kisses for my William.
Okay. William loves the taco flavored kisses. I know that.
Here's the thing.
William gonna tell you what I want to order. Gonna make a run for the border. Gonna give you everything I got. Give me a bunch of tacos and a soda pop.
Okay. First of all, I didn't even know if it was even safe to come on because I was traumatized the other day by Enosh.
Oh no, it's very safe. It's very safe, William. It's very safe.
So it started out with him and RJ ambushing me, which I fended off successfully, but then it spiraled.
Ambushing you? What?
It spiraled.
Look here. Listen here. You know if I ambush you.
What?
It spiraled into a surreal nightmare that included a shirtless Austin.
Wait, what? How did I miss that stream?
Because awesome things happen over at the lounge. We eat tacos and burritos and get shirtless.
And then a demonic Quiznos was talking about tacos for an hour.
Did you say a demonic Quiznos?
Yeah. So,
well, like the Brood Witch from Aqua Teen Hunger Force thing.
I am still sorting things out in my head, but I still wanted to come up.
I wasn't even there.
Yeah, the scariest movie might be that last stream. So there's my pick. So
please don't have to be a sequel.
No. In fact, don't even replay it.
It's gonna be a franchise. Man.
No, take my word for it.
So actually, that leads.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
It got awfully quiet here real quick.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Evil Dead.
Well,
Everybody's got a burrito in their mouth.
Anyway, that kind of leads me into my next question about New Gods. So do you think now that Eternals is coming out, if DC were to ever go forward with Eternals, New Gods, that it would be compared too heavily to Eternals?
Never gonna happen.
Yes.
Well, it depends on who's doing it.
Possibly.
It depends on who's doing it.
But also,
would we get that same effect by Wonder Woman and Captain America?
You know what would be a good comparison, actually? A good comparison would be what Enosh said earlier about the comparison between Dune and Star Wars, where even though Star Wars came out first but was released after the book of Dune, people are going to constantly compare the film to Star Wars. Right. New Gods came out in the comics before Jack Kirby went back to work at Marvel. So I think everybody's going to be comparing, New Gods to Eternals, even though New Gods was kind of where he started to formulate the ideas, and then as he left, he's like, well, I can do this other story, hence Eternals.
Right, because he can do it the way he wanted to do it.
King of Comics. Just saying.
That's true.
The man's a genius.
Well, because what I've been hearing about Eternals is like, it's too bleak. I saw someone call it a DC movie. Like someone literally called it a DC Zack Snyder movie. And
that gets me going.
What?
I know that actually gets me excited about it.
Yeah, that gets me going. That gets me going, man. I mean, come on. Give me some complexity in the MCU.
Give me some clothes out.
So would you guys want to even see a New Gods movie now that maybe DC's not on that same path?
Yeah, again, it depends who's doing it. Look,
it's not Ava.
You don't think Ava? I think she would have been good. I think as far as if you're looking for
after a wrinkle in time, no.
Well, if you're looking for a different tone, that's a good tone for.
I do think she's a really good director, but when she's doing properties like this, like I don't know if she's the right person for the job, to be honest.
Thank you, William.
She does have that DC show coming out, which I didn't.
Which one?
They announced it at Fandom. It was one of the things that.
Oh, one of those minor things.
Yeah, she's got a show, but she talked about that. She was going to do New Gods, so I think she would have been an interesting choice. But it's all who's going to direct it. If you're going to do New Gods, then yeah, you want to do something a little bit different. Obviously, since Marvel's done Eternals now, they've done.
Well, that's kind of like if DC went ahead and say ever did New Gods, and they kind of kept it with the themes that they've had, maybe not as much color, a little bit more serious in tone, yada, yada, yada. I think it would automatically get compared to Eternals because that's the way Eternals looks right now. Is kind of not eternally. Have you guys ever read an Eternals comic?
No, it is very colorful and it is very vibrant.
I've got it right here with me, the collected edition of Kirby's original Eternals.
There's so much color that it gives me a headache sometimes.
But I think Marvel is Marvel. They don't show us a lot for a reason. I mean, we've seen little things and stuff like that. I think there's going to be a lot more to it than what's been shown in the trailers and stuff. And I don't know. I think I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be probably one of the best Marvel movies they release.
Because it's maybe so drastically different.
If they do some post-credit stuff, I hope I see some Bruce Banner, because spoilers for the comics who haven't read it. I think it's issue like 10, I think it is. They run into the Eternals run into the Incredible Hulk. So hopefully we see at least a wink and a nudge to that, but we shall see.
He was just in the Shang-Chi credit scene.
Yeah, he was.
I'm not going to do that again.
I know. Right, it would be nice.
Well, I've heard that there's two of them. That's what I've heard. There's two of them, and they both introduce 2 new characters apiece, is what I've gotten. But I don't know how true that is. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to Eternals. I want to see it. But now we know. So, what I've been reading is New Gods was canceled because of the Snyder Cut potentially. Does that upset anyone? Because I really like where they went with Darkseid, and I really want to see more of Darkseid.
Well, listen, we all know that you can't have multiples of the same character in the DC universe. I mean, if anything's proven to us, like the idea, like we don't want anybody to be confused. It's the same reason why, like we can't have Batman on TV and Batman in the movies, or two different Batman movies, or two different Batman
or
in the
8
same
different
movie.
Supermen running around at once.
Because people get confused, right? And so, Zack Snyder used Darkseid, so we know that no one can ever use Darkseid again. That's why they didn't want Green Lantern in the movie, because if John Stewart had been used in the movie, they wouldn't be able to use John Stewart in any other movie ever again, especially with the multiverse, because the multiverse doesn't work that way. The multiverse is just one universe where nothing else exists, and so yeah, I would say no. Here's the thing, that's stupid. Like if DC actually did that, if that's the real reason why they canceled that, and I'm going to talk about this later tonight, but if that's the real reason why, then I'm sorry. I've lost all hope, pretty much. I mean, not all hope, but just I've lost all trust in Warner Brothers, in DC, to know what the flip they're doing. Like
then, because like I mean, I do agree with you. It is stupid as fuck. But like, do you think they did this because the Snyder Cut has been getting a lot of praise and everyone is really interested to see what that version of Darkseid is doing? So if Ava DuVernay went in a completely different direction with a different actor and possibly a slightly different design of Darkseid, do you think there'll be like an outcry from?
Well, but here's the problem. Here's the problem. Here's the problem, DL, and we've talked about this before on the lounge. Like, if DC literally thinks that New Gods is just all about Darkseid,
they're wrong.
That's the problem.
Oh yeah,
exactly. Right.
That's the problem. Movie. It's like Orion's movie. If you want to pick up,
it feels like that excuse, because I get what you're saying, right? That okay, yeah, Darkseid's a part of it. So if they make a different Darkseid, it can make it different or whatever. But the thing is that people are smart enough to know, like, if they do that movie right, it's a lot more than Darkseid. And so the thing is, I feel like it's the same person who was like in that executive boardroom and went, "Oh, well, how is Superman going to get back to Krypton if you blow up the ship?" You know what I mean? It's like that's how I feel. That's what I feel it is. I feel like it's people who really just don't know. So you're like, "Oh, wait, you want to put Darkseid in a movie? Well, we can't put Darkseid in the movie right away, because if it's a different thing, then people aren't going to accept it." Like,
yeah,
that's all they hear is they hear the cliff notes. It's like they get the DC for Dummies book, and they they're like, let's make our movies based on that. So
I really like what someone just said about, could it potentially be about an outcry from the Snyder community?
Yeah.
Because do you think that Warner Brothers is actually scared of doing something because of that now?
Well, if they are, then give us more Snyderverse.
No.
Right. Well,
if they're really that concerned, if they're really that concerned, they wouldn't be doing the BS they're doing right now. They would just give us more Snyderverse. This regime, and I think William would agree with me, this regime does not care about the Snyderverse. They don't care about the Snyder fans. They're not worried about the Snyder fans. They act as if the Snyder fans are absolutely disengaged from everything else. They're just a bunch of cult members, and they're a small little blip on their screen because they think that the Flash is going to do amazing numbers, which the Flash already had an uphill battle, and I was pulling for the Flash until I saw what I saw at Fandom, and now I'm kind of concerned about that. And now that it's going up against Black Panther 2, if they don't end up moving that,
they're done. They're done.
Okay, all right, sure.
So you don't think the Flash is going to do well?
Thank you. Good night.
I mean, it might
have a question.
Relatively well, but it's not doing better than Black Panther.
What's that?
So Enosh,
if they keep it where it's at up against Black Panther,
you don't think people will go out to the movies 2 times?
No. Black Panther is going to eat that movie up.
Not to watch 2 different comic book movies.
Oh,
one
yeah.
that you know about, one that you really don't.
I highly doubt it. I really.
But also consider this. Consider the fact that this is, and I'm not trying to kind of bait this in a sense, but consider the fact that this is also, I think, for a very different reason, going to be seen as a cultural thing when it comes to Black Panther 2, in the same way that Black Panther 1 was very much a representational thing for a lot of people. I think a lot of people are going to see Black Panther 2 as the opportunity for them to kind of, as fans, to have it's a fictional memorial for the death of a real actor.
Yeah.
And when you're putting
tons of people are going to watch that movie.
And when you're putting it up, and when you're putting it up against a film that's already has a sort of a portion of controversy, the looks of it have been interesting, but relative to this titan that has been built over the last 10 years, when you've got such a disjointed thing between having two different versions of the team-up movie for your universe come out in the span of 5 years, which are alternate takes, I think it's not confusion, but I think that is an uphill battle. I think that will definitely be one of the contributing factors.
Look, I want to see the Flash. Look, I want to see the Flash. Okay, I have taken all kinds of flack, and pretty much everybody on this panel can attest to that. I have taken so much freaking flack for being positive towards the Flash, and I'm still positive towards the Flash. But what they showed at Fandom was downright scary and cringy. I'm one of the few people who is really excited about seeing Michael Keaton come back, because that was my Batman. That's the Batman that I grew up with. Now, do I want him to do what some of the rumors say and be like the Batman for the DC universe? Heck no.
No.
Heck no. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But I'm rooting for the Flash. I want DC properties to do well. I'm even the opposite of people like my friend Matt Jarbo, who I am absolutely excited for the idea of the multiverse. But here's the problem with the Flash. The Flash has such an uphill battle. First of all, it took forever for them to finally agree on a script. And like this, the Flash movie has gone through so many hands. That's one strike. Okay. That's one strike against it, because they finally figured it out and they finally greenlit something, but it took years. I mean, years of them trying to get a Flash movie and multiple directors. Okay. Yeah. Now they got Andy Muschietti. I trust Andy Muschietti.
Right.
Okay. I feel like Andy Muschietti. So we'll take a little bit back on that strike. But here's the thing too. First of all, this movie is not being marketed as a Flash movie. This movie is being marketed for all the Batman figures in this movie. Okay. That's a weird take on it. Also, the look is very strange. After seeing Fandom, the look is very strange. But then you go back and then you add the Ray Fisher controversy to it. Yeah. So there's a whole segment of people who are literally telling you are a racist, which I don't believe, but they're telling you are downright a racist if you even just think about seeing this movie.
Right,
which is not true.
It's not true. But I understand. Understand it.
I understand. And look, and I've said myself. I mean, and we've all talked to, we've talked to Wayne T. Carr. I've talked to Ray. And the thing is like, I understand their position now. Okay. With some things that came out recently, I'm understanding it a whole lot more, and I got a whole lot more concerns. But I don't blame Andy Muschietti for that. You know what I mean? Like I don't blame those people for it, but I understand why Wayne and Ray now have said we're not going to see that film. Okay. Mm-hmm. And so while I support that take on it, there are people who have taken that way too far.
Yes.
Okay. There are people who've taken that way too far. And even Ray told me, like, don't worry about those haters. Right? Like people are going to hate, people are going to be upset, whatever. Everybody's got to figure it out for themselves.
Yeah.
Right?
If the guy that is the
center of it,
controversy.
Yeah.
Tells you, hey, make your own decision, but I won't be mad either way.
Yeah. Then
how can you get all butthurt about it?
Because dude, people, they don't listen to that. They form their own opinions and then they run with that stuff. So, but the problem is that when I do finally see the Flash movie, am I going to be thinking about Ray Fisher the entire time and thinking about, gosh, man,
he could have been here, he could have done
this. Here, he could have done this. This could have been a whole different, take on it. This could have been a whole other thing. Absolutely. So I have a lot of concerns for the Flash movie. Plus, by the time they get to this, I think one of the biggest things that look, I'll give it to Marvel. RJ can take this one to the bank because I give this to Marvel. Feige has gotten ahead, and this is why RJ laughed when I said Feige's a jerk. And when I say he's a jerk, I don't mean that like he's just a bad person. I mean, Feige is a businessman. He's strategic and he knows exactly what he's doing. Okay. So they have set this up. I mean, Batman v Superman was coming back. There's all this stuff that talks about how they literally changed the Captain America movie so it was Civil War.
Yes.
That it pitted him against Tony for that same tone, and literally came out within a month.
Yeah,
of that movie. Yeah, a couple months of that movie, right?
It did seem peculiar that they went the Civil War route.
Saying Feige knows exactly what he's doing. Well, here's the thing: DC has been talking about wanting to get a multiverse movie up for years, right? Oh, when we do this, we're going to do the multiverse. We're going to do the multiverse. We're going to do the multiverse, right?
Flash had always been a Flashpoint type.
Yep, Flash had always been. They always said that when they got to Flash, they were going to do a Flashpoint multiverse type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Even when
it was being developed way back
when Snyder was talking about it, like and where it was going next. Exactly. Here's the thing, though. By the time,
a great Flash story.
It is. But by the time we get to next year, the end of next year, when the Flash movie finally comes out, Marvel will have already presented an entire multiverse and probably be past their multiverse and done with it. And anything that DC throws out there, we're looking like in a month, we might possibly see like the craziest crossover ever to possibly see the three people who played Spider-Man on the screen together. And even if not all Spider-Men are there, we got villains from all three franchises, right? So we already got the echoes of that. We've got the multiverse of madness, and God only knows what that's going to bring. Okay, we got variants. We got all kinds of stuff. We saw a little bit of it in the Loki show, where there's like all these different Lokis and stuff. They are going to pull out all the stops for this multiverse thing, and then it's going to be done. And guess what? Here's going to come DC hobbling in, going, but we got Michael Keaton. Well, that's great for me as a DC fan because I love Michael Keaton and I love those movies. But for the general public, like my buddy Picard down here said, for the general public, they're going to look at it and go, didn't we already see this? Oh, this is just DC trying to copy Marvel. Even though it's not, they're still going to look at it and go, see, DC's just trying to copy Marvel.
So what you're
Viewed
saying
from the
is,
surface,
is
the Flash movie is going to be terrible. I'm telling you right now. Like,
you're right, Brian.
Just from your normal average Joe watching that movie, they're not going to understand a damn thing that's going on in it.
I agree with you, Brian.
They're going to wonder, what the hell does this connect to? And when they find out that it doesn't connect to anything and it doesn't make any sense, they're not going to go back and watch it.
I've always.
You don't think that the Flash? You don't think that the Flash is going to get a slew of nostalgic views just simply
just because of
maybe in the first weekend?
But dude, nostalgia doesn't last though. Nostalgia lasts long enough for you to see it one time and be like, I'm good.
Then why is Spider-Man banking so heavily on?
What are you talking about? It's not. They're not going to be in there. Right? Me and RJ discussed this Tuesday.
No. Here's the thing. If they had every single Batman on film who is currently alive, they had Michael Keaton, Christian Bale,
I hear where you're
Ben
going
Affleck.
with this. Yep.
That would be something worthwhile.
Yep.
They only have Michael Keaton, one generation's version of Batman. Spider-Man, you have three different generations.
Well, they got Ben Affleck too.
Yeah.
Well, but here's another thing.
Barely. I'm just saying.
I get what you're saying, though. Yeah,
I get where you're going with it. Yeah.
Does this movie come out after Spider-Man though?
Way
after.
Way.
So they're going to be like,
you know what? It's going to be the South Park thing.
Why are they?
It's going to be the It's going to be the South Park thing. Simpsons did it.
Simpsons
already did it. Marvel did it.
Marvel already did it.
I say that as a hardcore DC fan. No one is going to care.
That is why I've said they should never have done a multiverse time travel movie for the first Flash movie.
Yes.
It should have been a simple, down-to-earth Flash story, an origin story, or something cool.
Or the Flash movie should have come out 5 years ago when it was supposed to.
I'm saying this like
still,
I'm
I
saying
think
this
even
like
back
the
then
general...
it was a mistake to go with a multiverse storyline though. For your first Flash movie, I think you needed something more down to earth to get the character off the ground.
I have a question. It's a serious question. And I say this not to be a smartass, but I'm genuinely saying, like, name me another very popular Flash storyline besides Flashpoint.
What are you talking about?
No. Like, I did this with you and Hawkeye, RJ, on Tuesday. Name me a very popular old school
To-
story for that
to the
character.
normies or
Only
to
what I
us?
know
Yeah,
is
what do you want?
Flashpoint. That's it.
Well,
Only
what
one
I'm
I
saying.
know is
well, hold
to
on
us.
though. But that's because Flashpoint was a DC changing type of story. But
Right.
but there's plenty of
Event.
classic Flash stories that you could tell. I mean, you bring Eobard Thawne into it.
No.
And-
I'm not
yeah,
saying that they
you can
can't
do
do
the
a good
reverse
Flash. I'm just saying, like,
Flash.
name a story. You know, like what's the one for Hawkeye? RJ, what's it called?
My Life as a Weapon.
Right, My Life as a Weapon. That is Hawkeye's most well-known story. Before that, though, what did he have?
I don't know
Terminal
anything
velocity
about
be
that.
going. I like terminal velocity. I think that might have been. Was that a
Terminal
Bale or was it
Velocity,
a
yeah,
Wally
that's one.
story?
That is one. Terminal Velocity.
Okay, it took TW to tell me one. I've never heard.
I'm
of
reading
any
Spherical
possible
Man.
Hawkeye
I'm
story.
reading Spherical Man. I'm not super in. Like I like the Flash.
My
but
point is like, besides Flashpoint, what other like famous story arcs does Flash have as a character?
Why does everything though have to be a famous story arc? Marvel doesn't just do famous.
Yeah.
Marvel uses the name of story arcs and never even cashes in on that.
Right.
Marvel
Like, here's
ca-
Civil War, but it's not Civil War.
Like,
It's still the concept, though.
I'm not
It
denying-
wasn't the
I'm not denying-
concept.
I'm not
It
denying
wasn't the
the
concept
point.
at all.
Absolutely, it is.
Civil War was not Civil War was the Walmart version of the concept in
It
the
works
in
for that
the
universe,
books.
though, because a lot of
Exactly, but
Marvel
it wasn't-
fans,
it
even
wasn't
back
the
then, were like,
comic
the
was-
storyline
No,
wasn't
the
perfect.
Civil War movie was like going to the dollar store and getting your Civil War based on what was in the movie
They should have just
versus
waited.
what was in the comics. There was so much more to the comics, dude, and I know that even, dude, that there was
No, I
so much more to the
understand that. I'm just
comics.
saying,
I mean,
Consider the fact that Civil War in the comic books, you had the New Warriors started it off when the explosion happens in the city. You had, the X-Men splitting up across the lines. You had the Fantastic Four splitting up across the lines. You had Spidey, who was he was the center of the story kind of for the first arc of it. And then you have all of this other sort of tangential stuff. It was so much bigger.
No,
Like,
of
it
course,
was
they
could do a lot.
The best story they could.
Yeah,
Look, they've done
They could've
6
just waited.
seasons of the Flash without doing Flashpoint, so there's
yeah.
got to
Well,
be.
hold on.
some-
I don't.
No,
think,
they-
hold on.
they
RJ
did.
just said something.
They
RJ
did
just said something.
Flashpoint.
RJ
They
just said
did
Yeah,
do
but
Flashpoint.
RJ,
they didn't spend the whole
RJ,
series.
hold on.
They spent
RJ
the
just
se-
said something. RJ just said something that I want to get clarification on. You just said they did the best story they could. If they wanted to fit it
No.
all into one movie,
No, they didn't.
there's no way that they did the best story that they
no.
could have done.
The original Civil War storyline would have had to have been like a part
Hold
one.
on.
part two.
I want to talk to RJ. I want to hear RJ because RJ, I know that you love it and I love it too. But you're going to tell me that they did the best story that they could do out of Civil War when they could have told
parameters what they had at the time.
No, they had any parameters they wanted. They were the ones who made the story and tried to cram everything into one Captain America film because they were brushing over Civil War because they wanted to cash in on the name Civil War because they were actually telling the Infinity Gauntlet story.
Well, it worked perfectly, though. It was a great.
They also
I think
needed
it
to
fits
re-
perfectly
Hold
in
on.
there.
Let RJ talk because I can't hear RJ with everybody talking. So
No, I'm just saying, I think it fits perfectly in the puzzle narrative because you have Civil War, which is the breaking up of the heroes before Thanos arrives, thus leading ultimately their defeat. I think it fits perfectly in there.
That's
But
what
again,
I
the
think.
breakup, but the breakup is not even a breakup. It's like, hey, we're taking. It's like it's not a breakup. It's almost like Ross and Rachel going, hey, we were on a break. Like it's not even like we've talked about this so many times. Like even the fight in that movie is just like we don't really want to fight each other. We're actually all still friends. We're gonna pull our punches and everything, but it looks cool on screen. Like
Well, that third act fight, though, the third act fight between Iron Man and Captain America is outstanding in my opinion. I think
It's dumb, though.
It's emotional. I think it works.
It's dumb though.
I can agree on that front.
No, I agree that they definitely wanted to cash in on the Civil War name, because you cannot compare that movie to the actual first run of the book.
Well, it's not meant to really be compared, though. I mean,
if you use Civil War in a Marvel movie, yeah, it is.
If you call it Marvel's Secret Wars and you do something completely different,
hey Ty, I hate to tell you this, they're going to do it again.
I know
they're
they are.
going to do Secret Wars. They're going to do Secret Wars, and they're going to brush right over it.
Oh
again.
no! I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Secret Invasion.
guarantee you.
You don't think they'll
guarantee
go
it.
full out with the scroll?
No, they'll go Skrulls, but you know what? Here's the thing. Skrulls are not as interesting as people are acting like they are on the movies. They're doing this Skrull stuff, and nobody really cares about this Skrull stuff. The people want to see the big villains, and so the thing is, they'll do a secret war, and I love doing that with the claws, by the way, the air quotes. They'll do a secret war. But it ain't going to be the secret wars that we all know and love.
Let me ask this real quick, though. Is the expectation that they need to be copying the comics one for one? Because that would be boring.
No, but not putting it all, not cramming it all into a half a movie.
They are talking about the grand scale of the event, RJ. I think that's what they're trying to get. The grand scale of how big these events are does not feel that big when it's in one movie versus like if it were a part 2 and part 3, we would like. It would feel bigger, basically.
Because
I think I get what they're trying to get at.
They were on the path of telling the Infinity Gauntlet story, and they threw in Civil War. They threw in a couple other storylines here and there, obviously, and they used it as a plot device to move the story that they were telling forward. But it was nowhere near as grand scale as the
Age of Ultron.
The Civil War comic book was. Civil War is a whole.
Don't even get me started on that one.
It's a whole phase, basically.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that's
Civil War should have been a whole phase.
I mean,
if we're being honest,
you wanted to, but given the movie we got, I have no complaints because I love the movie we got, and I thought it executed the storyline they wanted to tell perfectly.
I'm not saying you can't like the movie. I'm not saying you can't like the movie, but we still have to be able to recognize and call a spade a spade.
Yeah.
That what they did was not Civil War. What they did was they made a movie with a name, and they threw an element where the heroes fight, but it was nowhere near, like Ty said, it was nowhere near. And that's all I want you to admit. I don't want you to tell me that the movie was bad or that you didn't like it, because I liked it. I liked it. I just don't appreciate the fact that if you call something that you make it something else. That'd be like Crisis on Infinite Earths. And literally it shows like maybe one other dimension or like they just like go into this thing of like, we all come from different worlds, like meaning like their attitudes or like their private places. The Flash is like, I'm over here in Central City and I'm over here in Gotham and I'm over here in Metropolis. We come from different worlds. It's Crisis on Infinite Earths. You know what I'm saying? Like that would be BS. Like, you know what I mean? Like technically you maybe made a good movie. You made something that made sense, but it wasn't the actual subject material, and you got people excited for it. And because people just like these characters, I feel like because the people like these characters, they're able to get away with some stuff that it's just, it just isn't
a lot more than DC.
Yes. Also, hello, Logan. Hello, Logan.
Oh yeah, I said hi.
So JP's next, then Brian.
With what the plot was for the movie, they could have put that. They could have put that in they could have made that story later on, because it's basically just the long and short of it is like the heroes have to be put in check because of all the destruction they cause. When you could have made that in like this phase. There's more heroes to go around too, so it would have made it feel more grand because there's more heroes on screen.
For sure.
It's
definitely like, I didn't even like how they took Captain America's final film and made it that.
Yeah, it should have been its own movie. I will agree with that, Ty. But
it's still a Captain America story at the heart of it, though, which what I appreciate. It's still
they made it a Captain America story, though. That's what it was.
They leaned into the whole,
they forced it.
They
did lean in on it.
I'll say this: I enjoyed the movie, but I'll even agree that they did kind of like force that in again. And like, I'm sorry, I think the final fight is dumb. Like all this would
very well be an Iron Man movie.
I cannot agree with that.
If Steve had just sat down with all this could have been avoided with a conversation.
You could say the same thing about Batman versus Superman. You could say the exact same thing about Batman versus Superman.
I agree too. That could have been also avoided with a conversation. The doctor said it best.
Well, you can't really, because you know what? There was a trigger point in which Batman does have a trigger that flips him over, and he makes him realize that Superman is human and that the way that he's acting is ridiculous and over the top and is wrong. And it's the Martha moment that everyone loves to barrage and joke about. But it's literally that moment where they have a conversation. They literally It's that moment where Batman realizes, hey, this guy is a human being. He has a family. He has a woman who loves him. I've looked at him as this god, as this celestial alien this entire time. And they have a moment. And then guess what? They have a conversation and then they work together. The end of Civil War, I agree with Meta. It's ridiculous because like the thing is like, Tony is supposed to be this hero. Tony all of a sudden flips into a madman who's just out for blood, even though he knows that Bucky was under control and had no control over himself. I get it. He could be pissed off. He can never want to be around Bucky. He could hate Bucky. He can tell Captain America, I absolutely want nothing to do with Bucky.
Off.
He did this, F off, whatever. But you're going to tell me I'm going to kill him in cold blood. And if you get in my way, I'm going to kill you in cold blood too, because of something that this person could not control. That's a flip of Tony in the weirdest way to me.
I understand why he's so upset though, because like it was because of his mom. Like I get that, like he killed his parents, you know.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
I get that. But again, had he, here's the thing though, Cap knew. He said in the movie he knew about this, and I have to agree with my friends on this. Why didn't he just tell them this? Not even like off screen, but like honestly, it would have foiled the villains. It would have foiled Zemo's plans to begin with, because that was the whole antithesis of his plan, was to destroy the Avengers. If he'd have known that and they had talked it out, Zemo's plan would have blown up in his face.
Yes.
Well, for the most part.
Oh my God. And you know what? And I'm sorry, but Zemo puts the most ridiculous plan together, where literally everybody has to be everywhere at the exact precise time that Zemo supposedly planned, and like if one little thing goes wrong, Zemo's plan is
if Thor shows up, it's over.
I'm also going to give a point of leeway to the Batman v Superman fight, RJ, only because Luthor basically blackmail threatened Superman.
He literally could have flown in the air and yelled to Batman, "Hey, he's got my mom. Please stop trying to kill me." I'm just saying, if you're gonna call a spade, I'm just saying, like, I'm fine with that.
No, I agree. I agree with both.
He did land and try to talk to Bruce, but Bruce literally hit him with a barrage of sound bullets and everything else.
Up in the air, though.
So what?
He literally could have flown up in the air.
Bruce, it's been 5 years. You still owe me $18.
I'm just saying, he could have literally flown up in the air and yelled.
Flown up in the air and done what?
Yelled at him.
That's would find a way to get him.
Batman literally came with kryptonite ready to, like, with kryptonite bombs, literally like gassing him and taking away his power, like hitting him over the head with the kitchen sink.
Oh, I know. I'm talking about the start of the fight, not the actual.
I'm just saying he tried to Superman absolutely tried to de-escalate the situation and talk to him, and Batman just wasn't happy, because Batman we all know
in this scenario.
Batman he gets tunnel vision. He has a plan. He knows that this is his only chance to take out this godlike being. And so, and he told Alfred, if there's a 1% chance that this guy could go rogue, I've got to take, this is Batman's legacy that he's seeing, that only Batman can take him out, because Batman doesn't know about the other superheroes or whatever that could potentially exist in the world.
Wait, and didn't you get the footage from like
the only thing that I'll give you, RJ, the one thing I will give you is Superman pushes him away and like basically throws him across the yard. And that's one thing that still, when I watch Batman v Superman, I still look at it and go, if Superman doesn't do that, maybe there's a chance, but he pisses him off. He pisses Bruce off even more by tossing him that way. So I'll give you that. I'll give you that part. But like, as far as everything else, Bruce is so centered. It literally takes that moment where he's about to spear him, and that moment with Lois to knock him out of it.
I have more criticisms for.
I was going to say, I think Brian wanted to say something. I want Brian to be on, because I just got here. I didn't mean to interrupt the conversation.
Don't worry about it, dude. I'm good, man. It was like 5
minutes. It's a fun conversation. It's a fun conversation.
No. Honestly, the thing is, well, I think I remember what I was trying to say. No, Marvel movies are, let's put it like Disney Star Wars. Okay? There was established written stuff after Star Wars Return of the Jedi. And nobody read it unless you actually like were hardcore into reading that stuff. Because I've been a Star Wars fan for a long time, and I barely read the Thrawn stuff.
And that's not
I mean,
invalid.
I've read the newer stuff, but not the older stuff. I'm just saying, like,
that's a very valid point.
Sometimes you kind of have to take a step outside of things and remember that not everybody that's going to go see this movie.
You're breaking up a little, Bri.
Oh, that was him. Okay.
Ronnie makes the point. So
that
it's
comic book series.
hell?
I know. It's been no.
It's all
StreamYards
good.
has been acting up, but no. Like I'm saying is that that's how Marvel runs their business. It's not necessarily whether and most of the normies aren't going to know what that comic book run was. Okay, off the street, I didn't know what Civil War was until I played that Marvel game. You know,
the Ultimate Alliance
2. I didn't read the comic book on that. Yeah, Ultimate Alliance 2. I couldn't even remember the name of the damn game. See, you know what I'm saying? Like,
it didn't even
as
do
far
a
as
good
that goes-
job telling the story, in my opinion.
Well, exactly. But what the main point is that the general audience is not going to know that run. It's the same for Flash.
They don't
and
care, to be
Flashpoint.
honest.
But yeah, they don't care. They're just
wanna
like,
see
oh,
a
is
good
this
movie."
exciting? You know, am I going to shove popcorn in my face and want to come back? You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. It's so hard to get down to it because I understand where you guys are coming
I think
from.
I know what you're
defending
I
your
think I can
movies.
get. I think I can. Yeah.
You know, yeah, that
Go ahead,
you
Ryan.
love from through the lens of, you know, you love Zack Snyder's work and this is what it is. And you know what I'm saying? And when you compare it to DC, I'm just trying to be as diplomatic as I possibly, or sorry, not DC, but like Marvel and what they put out. I mean, I don't know. It's really weird because I kind of said in the chat a little bit earlier, it's like Marvel Civil War came out around the same time as BVS. You know what I mean? So there's always going to be a comparison about the two, you know, because you got your two titans of the movie franchises going head to head, you know, and all that kind of stuff. And I understand.
And I
But
think
go ahead.
one of the
Yeah,
issues
yeah.
too. Yeah, sorry, Brian. I think
it's good.
one of the major issues
Said my piece.
has to do with the fact it's not simply I don't think it's simply the fact that it's sort of a nerdy aspect. I think one of the major issues is media. Films are a lot more accessible than books or comic books or
True.
video games, and
TV
so
shows.
I think especially television. I mean, I think that's why a lot of people can get more in, and especially live action relative to animation. That's why more people mainstream can get into stuff like, if we're going to talk Star Wars for 2 seconds, we'll be looking at something like The Mandalorian relative to the Clone Wars and Rebels. Although it is for a slightly older audience, it's also the fact it's live action, I think, is one of the other things. For comics and books, sure, a lot of people read them. There is a lot of fans for them, us included, for many of these things. The fact is, it's much more accessible to watch a 2-hour movie or an 8-hour show that you can, or 10-hour show or whatever, you can break down into, in your own time, versus books where it's much more difficult. A lot of people need purely, like either silence or need to be in a very dedicated environment to consume this material. I think is one of the major issues why it's so difficult to get into some of these things sometimes. It's not due to the quality of the material or the type of prose or the presentation. It's just the media that they're in.
Well, yeah. Well, I was going to say to that point, I think the reason that stuff kind of... Because, there's no doubt Marvel changed stuff in the comics, absolutely. The reason, though, I think that they ultimately, no one really cares or gets upset about is because at the core of it, they still honor the characters and the universe they've established, and they still honor the source material in some aspects. It's not like a complete change in 180 where it's disrespectful. They don't cross that line, in my opinion.
So I'll let JP go, and then I'll say something quick relative to that.
I'm just saying, in my opinion, they've never crossed the line when they've adapted a story where I felt it was downright disrespectful. They've always taken elements to make it fit in their
The Mandarin, Iron Man 3?
The Mandarin, Demon in a Bottle, and
that was
Iron
their
Man 3.
one fix. That was their one problem, and they fixed it with Shang-Chi.
No. Again, Demon in a Bottle is probably the most down to earth, not down to earth, but it's a really good Iron Man tale, and they half-assed it in Iron Man 2 because they just couldn't make it the full thing.
You couldn't do a movie based on Demon in a Bottle.
No, you
at
really
least
couldn't.
At least in a blockbuster context.
No, they do. What do you think, man? Am I just tripping, or do you think they could have done Demon in a Bottle better justice?
I've never been put in a position as a comic book fan of Marvel to where I'm like, oh, this completely disrespects my love as a fan and my fandom.
It's like why you couldn't
There's never been a
do
case where they've like
Iron Man
just
3
like
did that for me at first.
It's like DC, where why you kind of couldn't do Batman Venom. Like, I mean, you could do it as like a something for HBO Max, but it'd be very tough to do as a live action film and get a lot of people to see it because it's just Batman and his mind. And
right. And I was going to say Philip Parker's on point too because there's no prior cinematic versions of these characters. This is it.
Oh, that's very true.
One version.
There's
nothing else to compare it to.
That definitely
There's
works in
nothing to
their
compare
favor.
it to.
Yeah.
I could have sworn they did something close to that.
Oh,
in the animated
Cast
series.
Wolverine.
Yeah. I just for Civil War, the entire the ending was weird, like in terms of like adaptation. There were a lot of things that I didn't think they pulled over. But not that they could at that time. Because they didn't have the X-Men. They don't have access to all the characters they should. But it ended up being more of an Avengers story than a Captain America story. And it shouldn't have been a Captain America story in the first place. Just everything seemed like they were going for the money, going for the name of Civil War, rather than adapting the actual story.
No, everything's woke. No. Everything's woke.
Oh,
That's
God.
what it is. It's woke. What's up, everyone? Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers here. What's going on? I just wanted to say, Enosh, I did charity.
Wow.
Enosh, I don't want to hear it anymore. Okay, I did charity.
Doesn't Saggy look like a putty patroller?
No, excuse me, sir.
Wow.
Jeremy,
What's that on your face?
Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers has arrived. What is going on, Jeremy?
Nothing. Why are you guys talking about this? Eternals is woke garbage.
Whoa!
Oh, dear God.
Trash. Doing is complete
You know,
trash.
hold on. Can I pull the camera back
You know,
up?
Jeremy,
Hold
I'm
on.
your worst nightmare.
I have the clown makeup on, but you know, like.
Listen, Geeks and Gamers, it's all about Geeks and Gamers, okay? So I'm just going to tell you right now.
I'm trying to get down to Jeremy Blue Steel.
All woke garbage. All woke garbage. Eternals is woke. The real fans downvoted, bombed it, whatever you want to call it. Those are the real fans. All of you guys are just not even talking about the woke agenda.
Hey,
Okay?
Jeremy, I got a question.
I got an answer.
Video games on your damn channel. Like you call it Geeks and Gamers and you never talk about games. Can we talk about some video
There's
games?
not enough wokeness in games right now. The wokeness in games is over. It's over.
You know what? Hold on.
Movies.
Can everybody just stop and say that DL made the best point? Wait, like we get on Geeks on Gamers for a lot of
Geeks
stuff.
on Gamers?
But or Geeks and Gamers, whatever. Who cares?
Hello.
But they don't talk about games. Like that is the best point I think I've ever heard. No, how does Enosh? Where's your stream on them not talking about games? You should get on them.
I think that was always implied that how nonsensical they are. Is that they've never talked about a video game
I
ever.
just thought they were that dumb. I like.
Well, they brought up something for Dad of Son too.
Also, here's the thing.
Saggy's a huge fan of Jeremy's now, so I know.
I am Jeremy. Yes,
Oh,
Saggy's a big fan of mine. She came out, and all her friends are disappointed in her and very upset with her because she came out to hang out with the real big dogs. Okay, y'all are just jealous because you want to be.
You'd be mad if someone
you
came
want to
out.
be me. Listen, it's
Well,
great.
yeah. Geeks and Gamers would be mad if somebody came out.
I'm jealous of you.
Oh,
They
wow.
wouldn't like
I
me
kid, of
very
course.
much.
I
Saggy
kid.
Melonz.
LGBTQ plus people.
Saggy
LGBT
Melonz
gamers,
is a
community.
black woman, and she's a woman, so we need her to make sure you guys know we are inclusive and we are diverse. Okay, Saggy's a black woman, and we need her to show
That's
y'all
literally
who
the
we
art.
are.
Oh my God. I'm not.
Did you
what do
find
mean
that
I'm
out
racist?
before
I'm
or
friends.
after you let her on?
This is after. Okay, she's amazing. She's amazing. We totally support Saggy Melonz over
Sure.
here.
Sure you do.
Enosh, I did charity. Shut up. What'd you do?
Oh, okay.
Wait, didn't you do charity?
I don't know. I did.
You did charity.
You know.
Lots for AFSP, I believe.
You know, so I swear we
did
I
more.
mentioned you've done charities before.
We did more.
Oh
Enosh.
yeah.
Well,
Well, you know,
Andre, by the way,
you know what I did?
Florida,
You know what I
Think
did?
You're a good
Think
person.
about
I didn't sell out. That's what I did.
We didn't sell it either. What are you talking about?
You know what I did?
That's
You know what I
because
did?
of me, Enosh.
I maintained integrity.
You're
I
a dopey
maintained
moron.
integrity.
You know that? You're
You know what I
Hey,
did?
boy.
You know what I did? I didn't lie. I didn't lie to people on the internet.
You're a fool. You're a fool.
I didn't lie to people on the
Austin.
internet.
You're a fool.
Austin's
You're a
killing me right
fool.
now.
You're absolutely a fool, Enosh.
You know what else I did? You know what else I didn't do or did? I maintained my integrity. I didn't lie to people on the internet, and I didn't make up crap just to get people to follow me.
You sound like an SJW,
Yeah, I guess so, huh? Yeah, because I actually care about other human beings.
Yeah. I love how he's talking to me as if I'm actually Jeremy. This is actually a good costume.
well, no, because the thing is, it's fake, just like Jeremy. So what's the difference?
Oh, my lord! Someone clip it.
You know it's gonna get sent to him, right?
Well, this.
Oh, I'm sure he's watching now, and I'm your worst nightmare. I've had your own people come to me and tell me, not the ones that are so far up your butt that anything you say they'll just go with, but I mean the ones that actually you thought were your friends have actually messaged me personally and told me.
Well, this costume definitely backfired. Okay,
it's getting hot.
It's okay,
Right,
it was
it's
a good
getting hot.
costume.
But hey, you always got those
Games,
GI
win
Joes.
prizes.
But just like your GI Joes, you're falling apart, buddy.
Oh my!
On that note,
Okay,
on that
Austin, calm
note,
down.
on that note, I do have to go for my stream. I wanted to give everyone a little tease of my costume. I did not expect it to blow up like this, but Enosh, I did charity, so F you. I love you guys though.
I'll call you later.
Hey! You're gonna need charity.
Wait, what do you mean you're gonna call her later? I'm supposed to call her later. Back off, dude.
Whoa!
Listen, y'all need to back off. Saggy's mine.
Your time is your business.
Enosh, the last time something like this happened, it did not go well. So,
Saggy, you know you're mine, girl.
Enosh, the last time something
I'm
like
her
this happened
dream
with
man.
Saggy,
I just meant
I'm Saggy's dream guy. I'm Saggy's dream man right here, baby.
Who was in that?
Fred Enosh Kruger.
All right, guys, I gotta get ready for my stream. I love y'all.
All right, talk to you later.
We'll see you later, honey.
I'm
Will you see her in her dreams, Mr.
I'll
Kruger?
see her in her dreams for sure.
Oh Lord!
Tiptastic's going to appear behind him, and he's not going to be the real nightmare
Darth
here.
RJ.
I have no costume. Just wearing a
Darth RJ.
Can we
There
see
you
your
go.
T-shirt?
Darth
What
RJ.
the
of
hell?
course.
Yeah, it's a
RJ, can you stand and reveal your
RJ,
Let me see your
I didn't even
t-shirt.
see RJ come in. RJ, what's up, buddy? Happy Halloween.
RJ's the one.
Hold on.
Wait, hold on.
RJ's
Hold
so
on.
nice,
hold on.
guys. I love
Time out.
RJ. He's the best.
He's been
Who
talking
do you
a
think
lot.
been talking to Enosh?
Fuck you, man. Who do you think we've been talking to about Marvel for the last 30 minutes? Like,
Who else?
wait, hold on.
kinda-
Austin's
I kinda-
John Wick now.
I
You're
kind
John
of want
Wick
you
now.
guys to
Something
go.
like this.
Austin
Okay.
is John Wick now.
Yeah.
What is that?
Yep.
I thought you were a Mormon.
Hello.
Oh, I had another joke. I'm so glad I didn't say it out loud.
Knock, knock, knock. Guess who's home? Ha! You
Hello.
knocked on the wrong door, buddy. Come on in. Ha!
Hello,
it'd be like the
my
Book
name
of
is
Mormon.
Elder Price.
Hello, my name is Freddie, and I'd like you to come in and play. Ha!
Oh my god, I'm loving this now.
God, you guys are insane. I love it.
Hey,
I
is
love
that
it.
tie a clip-on? Ha!
No, I
No,
can
it
see
is
the.
not.
I can see the where it goes back under the collar.
That's right.
That's the dead giveaway. Good boy.
That's right.
I like that.
That's
that.
right.
Good boy.
Good boy.
Sweet tart.
No clip-ons here.
Do I get a treat? No, I'm kidding.
Here's a
Yeah.
sweet tart. You get one sweet tart.
I get one sweet.
Did anyone
Sweet
actually? Does anyone? Is there a certain candy that you like on Halloween?
No, but you know why I like it when Mormons knock on my door?
Why?
Because there's not just one of them. There's usually at least two. Ah!
What?
More to play with.
To
I'm
answer the
dead.
candy question, Spree, actually. Spree is a fantastic candy that gets overlooked.
What?
Spree.
I like going on a killing spree.
What the hell is free?
You don't know
are
what
like
Spree is?
For me, it's
Spree-
Describe it. I might know what it is.
Spree are
I
like
know what
the.
spree is. Sprees are good.
Spree is like, hold on.
It's a Wonka
like
candy,
sweet tarts,
right?
but it's better.
It's a Wonka candy, right?
Yeah, they're like sweet tarts.
They're like sweet tarts, but better.
But and
They're fizzy. They're fizzy, right?
Yeah.
a little bit.
Spree's amazing. Spree's my
Oh,
favorite candy.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man,
My
a
favorite
big
thing are
Google
like just
Spree,
small-
oh hell yes.
Chocolate bars of any size, of any type, rather.
Yeah.
You want some chocolate? You got some chocolate?
You say
What are your
chocolate?
thoughts on? What are your thoughts on?
Chocolate?
I love how Ty's actually trying to keep us on topic.
I'm sorry.
What
He's like, what's your favorite movie to watch at this time of year? And we're all like,
Civil War is not
gamers.
a Civil War movie.
Geeks and gamers, Mormons, Marvel. I'm Felix Krueger.
And now we have to play the
fun.
game of what do they all have in common?
Oh, okay. I'll tell you what. I saw Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy, for you. What is it? Dream Warriors last night for the first time. That was some of the funniest stuff I've ever seen in my life. Dude.
What is it?
Oh yeah.
What is Dream Warriors?
I think it's Dream Warriors. It's the third one. It's the third
That's
one.
the fifth. That's the fifth. I thought
Huh?
it was fifth one.
Yeah, it's one that has
Third,
Lawrence
fourth,
Fishburne
Please
in it.
tell me you didn't ask me what my third movie was. It's one of the most popular ones. You've never seen Nightmare on Elm Street 3?
I don't know.
Warriors?
I actually don't think I have.
There
I've
you
only
go.
seen the first two.
I actually haven't either.
It is the third one. But
Okay.
dude, I laughed
I've
so
seen
freaking
five.
hard. Dude.
No. I've
Dude,
seen the first
Why?
two. It's like, give me a break, dude. I'm only so
Look,
young.
no, the third one is Freddy Krueger versus Harry Potter. I swear to God, there is a scene.
Yeah,
Hey,
literally.
One of the best
Austin,
things.
Austin, if I have to watch Freddy Krueger brutally murder a child that's Harry Potter, I'll watch that over. I'll watch that on repeat.
Oh, it's
Give me
brilliant.
that copy right now.
It's great, man. Oh man.
I'll watch
Well,
it.
it's more of a Dungeons and Dragons wizard. Let's be honest.
Also an interesting coincidence. It's also an interesting
Well,
coincidence.
that's what he is.
considering-
That's what he is. He's in
Yeah, but it's
Dungeons
also
and
an interesting
Dragons and stuff like that, and
coincidence.
he becomes a wizard at the end to try to fight Freddy, and Freddy's like, "Get out of here,
What's
kid."
The Harry Potter
Harry
discussion is
Potter.
an interesting coincidence, considering the fact that Warner's wound up later getting the license to do Harry Potter in films, considering New Line is now a Warner's thing.
Yeah. Yeah, no, send me
I'm
Freddy
so
Krueger killing
off.
Harry Potter. I will definitely watch that over and over
I
again.
would watch your words very carefully, Meta.
Send him over. I'll kill him right now.
Oh, I'm sorry. Am I making fun of the anthology that has a bunch of plot holes in it? Yeah, no, I am. Thank you.
So Austin, it was funny.
Oh, dude, it was hilarious.
Oh yeah, part 3 is great, man.
But
Like,
it is one of those.
that's the
like,
one where
it's
Freddy
so
started
bad.
getting funny. That's the
It's
one
so
where Freddy
bad.
started.
It's
Freddy.
good. Like it was like it has its moment, but it was like it's an enjoyable movie. Like, I would watch it again.
Did you guys
Patricia
watch?
Arquette does kung fu, and it's freaking awesome, dude.
Wait, I'm sorry. Hold on. Rewind that. Who does karate?
Patricia Arquette.
Patricia Arquette.
Oh,
Look,
Patricia
haven't you guys
Arquette.
seen this? This is from what is it? Is this from
Okay.
part 4? I think.
Four.
Let me see.
Four.
Yeah. This. Hold on.
Oh,
I will say-
jeez.
Hold on a second. This is from part 4, I think. Okay.
Maybe
can do this.
Just hold the
Do this
light.
where I don't drop lights. Okay. So where he turns her into a roach and then puts her in a roach motel, and he's like, "They check in, but they don't check out." Ah!
Yeah, I think that's 4. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's 4. So
Yeah,
that's,
she's like she lifts it up. She's she's lifting up to do her reps and stuff, and then her arms snap, and then it's just it's gross.
yeah. So like I got all this Freddy stuff, but like the the Freddy series, in part 3, that's where it started to get funny because they had to add some humor to it. The first one is a straight up horror movie. The
Right.
second
I
one
actually
is
just watched
which
that
is cool.
tonight. It holds up
the
very well.
scary. The second one is a scary movie, but it's not as bad. But then the third one is where they introduce the Dream Warriors, where people can go in and they can become powerful.
You get your dream
in the
power,
dream.
man.
Yeah, so you got the
Which
one
is
guy
cool.
who plays D&D. He's in a wheelchair. He plays D&D though, and so in his dreams he can walk, and he's this powerful wizard. And he tries to take on Freddy, and then this other girl, like she's a heroin addict, and she like tries to take on Freddy, like because like she like becomes a street fighter kind of chick, and then like Freddy busts out with 2 gloves, man,
So what you're saying is
2 gloves worth of hypodermic needles. 2 gloves with and the tracks on her arms are like little lips going. And Freddy's just like,
So
ah.
that's where they got Scary Terry from, right?
Oh, yeah, that's where they
I
got
tell you,
scared.
the freaky there is
Austin.
one freaky part about it, but you're making it sound way
Austin.
more serious.
Austin, wait. So like for the heroin addict, does the heroin give her like boost, like level ups, like in a beat 'em up? Like,
No. It kills her. It kills her. Freddy kills her with heroin. And then, but like, yeah, all of them have different powers. But then in 4 is where Freddy started getting like really crazy, telling jokes, like right before
Now
he
you're
would kill
playing
you.
with power.
Oh yeah, like he
Oh,
yeah.
God.
The one kid's a video
Yeah.
game guy, and he puts on the power glove, and like
Oh,
Freddy's
dear.
got the power glove,
I
so
know.
Yeah, and he has,
puts on
he's using the controller
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Oh,
that's not
dear.
okay.
Yeah,
I know.
Freddy's literally sitting there like with the glove, and he's like, Yeah, now I'm playing with power. Time for the power glove. He puts the glove on his.
Wow, that's, really
and then the one kid's a comic guy, and so Freddy goes into the comic, and he's like there's one like he's skateboarding and stuff, and like Freddy got. Yeah, they jumped the shark on that one.
Did you guys watch the reboot that they did like a few years ago?
I have actually not
seen
that one. It was fine. It
was fine.
Was it okay? So is that a
It was fine. The story was a little convoluted because they tried to make you feel bad for Freddy by introducing the idea that maybe Freddy was innocent and that he didn't do all those things, and that was a little weird, and that sat weird with people. Plus, I'll be honest with you, they chose the right guy to play Freddy. In my if it's not going to be Robert Englund, they chose the right guy, but the makeup was horrible. They tried to go they're listen.
They weren't realistic.
They tried to go with a realistic thing, but they honestly they made Freddy look a certain way, honestly.
Like a zombie.
That would be very un-PC to say what he really looks like.
Was it like
it made him look like he may have some disabilities is the thing, and people, that became a meme, that became a joke actually about it. So it became, the thing is nobody took that version seriously because Freddy but I will say this, one of the scariest and best Freddy moments came from that movie where he's got the kid who dies, but he's hanging upside down, and Freddy comes up and he goes, the human, plus the voice was a little bad too. The voice wasn't as good as Robert Englund. It was weird. But when he comes up and the kid's hanging upside down and Freddy's like, the human brain takes 11 minutes to die or something like that. He's like, so we still have like 10 more minutes to play or whatever. Like that, that's brutal. Like,
right.
Like that's pretty awesome. But the idea that Freddy was like framed and everything, like, the makeup just wasn't
he's a kid.
I thought the makeup.
You guys think they'll try and make another new one? Like they'll try and do another remake?
Dude, they will eventually. Like everybody's trying to get Robert Englund to do one more,
right?
Because everybody wants him. Everybody wants Robert Englund to come back, but
he won't do it.
Because they have the rights issue with Friday the 13th. I know they want to make a new one now. Now the writer got the full rights back to the franchise. They're going to actually start making the new one finally.
But see, that's the thing is like Friday the 13th is easier because Friday the 13th, you just put a big guy behind the mask and you just have him run around and kill people. There's no real personality there.
Like any actor could really play it.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I mean, Kane Hodder did an amazing job physically as Jason. But the problem is with Freddy. Freddy has a personality. Freddy interacts.
He's an actual character.
He's an actual character, and so the problem is whoever you put in that glove, in that hat, and the outfit, they have to emote that. And Robert Englund created that. That was not created for Robert Englund. Robert Englund created that character. And so anybody, I know that Robert Englund hopes that somebody else is able to come after him and do that. And I've heard Robert Englund talk, and I don't know if Robert Englund is just being nice, but Robert Englund seems to think like he tries to downplay his own influence on the character.
Humble.
He is very humble about it, and he's like, oh, somebody will come after me and be able to do it. And like the only reason he doesn't want to do it now is because he says the physicality. But here's the thing: you could literally put somebody in there to do any stunts or anything like that you need him to do, right? Like, but he makes Freddy. Like the look, the feel, the emotion, even the jokes and the bad jokes, the puns, all that stuff.
It's all him.
It's all him.
I heard it was because he was wearing the makeup one time and he scared his wife and he scared his wife like terribly, and he didn't do it because he didn't want to like do that again. Basically, that's what I heard at least.
And there's also one thing that I thought was interesting, and I think one of the major issues when it comes to rebooting a franchise like this, particularly with Nightmare on Elm Street with the character, is the fact that you look at 1 and 2 versus the rest of the franchise.
Yep.
Tonally, they're very different.
Yes.
You have almost, I won't go as far to say horror comedy with 3 and after, But I will say with the
It
first two, they're straight horror movies.
Yep.
Literally, it was Heather Langenkamp going up onto the ceiling and the wall. I'm like, that still unnerves me years later.
Oh yeah.
But then
dude,
you've got
the
the comedy stuff. And so it's like when you put together a movie, A, what are you doing? And now you've also got to B, another problem with reboot when it comes to an origin. You're going to have to answer the question at the start definitively again. Not only the origin, not only what is it going to be, but is he, assuming it's the similar origin, is he innocent?
Yep. Well, and here's the thing too. The reboot tried to do it straight. Okay, they literally, they tried to play a straight Freddy Krueger that was there to kill and murder and whatever. The thing about it is people forget, and younger people, for example, right, who don't know Freddy as well. So Freddy became this pop culture phenomenon. Okay, when I was a kid, everybody wanted this. When we were kids, okay, kids knew who Freddy Krueger was because it became that much of a thing. Freddy had his own anthology show on called Freddy's Nightmares that was like a Twilight Zone kind of thing, but for horror, because there was this time where there was all these horror TV shows. There was like Monsters. There was a Friday the 13th one.
Crypt Keeper.
Yeah, there was all these like weird anthology shows that would come on that were syndicated and stuff, and Freddy's Nightmares was one of them. But the problem was Freddy was not scary in it. Freddy was the narrator in it. So literally he'd be like, when we come back from commercial, he became like Elvira. Okay, telling little jokes. And then I'll never forget, you can look it up right now, Ty. If you look up Freddy Krueger playing guitar, there is a still of him coming back from commercial, and he's introducing the show, whatever they're doing, and he's playing guitar, right? He's playing you know what I mean? So it's Freddy became this other thing, man. I remember getting in trouble as kids because one kid brought his Freddy glove, and it didn't even look real. This is still plastic, but it was just the rubbery,
the really fake one.
Misshapen claws and everything. Kid brought it to school. There it is. Oh my God. So I'm just telling you, the thing is Freddy became this other thing where this Freddy that we're looking at right there is not the Freddy in those first two movies.
Not even close.
Not even close.
Question for you. Do you think that in terms of the 80s slasher icons, would you say that Freddy is the Dracula in this lineup?
Oh yeah, Freddy is the quintessential one. Look, I get it. People love Michael Myers, right? But Michael Myers has no personality. Okay, Michael Myers is an icon, but he's a silent icon. He's like a Frankenstein.
Yes.
Okay.
I think a better comparison.
Same with Jason. Same with Jason. Jason is also they're very both Jason and Michael Myers are very, very similar.
So similar.
Yeah. Then you have Pinhead. Pinhead's a little different because Pinhead, there was actually a script that tried to combine all those 80s icons because, because they did Freddy versus Jason, right? And there was a time where when they went Jason. Oh yeah.
In Freddy versus Jason?
Yep. Yeah. There's actually a script, I think, that's out there that when they did Jason Goes to Hell, so Jason died, went to hell because they set it up. They set it up at Jason Goes to Hell because at the end, the claw comes up and you see the claw in Jason Goes to Hell. Okay. So they were trying to set it up then, but there was part of the script where Jason went to hell and actually encounters Pinhead.
Ooh.
Yeah, and that Pinhead empowers him to go back and fight Freddy because Freddy's trying to become alive again in a lot of these movies. Freddy is trying to take over people's bodies, possess people, and by Freddy's dead, that was kind of what happened because Freddy had literally killed all of the kids in Springfield, right? So Springwood. I'm sorry, Springwood. He killed all the kids in Springwood, right? And so they were all gone. So that's interesting. That it was really, but yeah, Freddy is definitely the
Dracula.
The Dracula, kind of the
he
ringleader.
Got the party started.
Yep, he got it. That's his role kind of in that. But I will say this too. A movie that's overlooked a lot, and we lost TW. I'd be interested to hear. Oh no, TW still there. I'm sorry.
No, RJ left.
Who did we lose?
RJ left. He had to get rid of
some
some stuff at the house.
Okay. New Nightmare was a true reboot of the franchise with Robert Englund still. Because you want to talk about meta. Have you guys seen New Nightmare?
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
So
did a long time ago. I know
Okay.
I mentioned it before. I didn't like it that
Yep.
much, but again, I need to rewatch. It's been a very
so
long time.
here's the thing. Those first two Freddy movies, straight up horror movies, right? Straight up like villain horror movies. Third one it's still like that Freddy's the bad guy, but everybody's fighting him, and that's when you started to actually root for Freddy.
Right.
Freddy became the hero of the thing. That like, yeah, you wanted to see him get beat in the end, but you really were there, man. You wanted to see him kill those teens, and you wanted to see him like knock everybody off.
Right. The lines started to blur.
Yeah. So then 4, you had the Dream Master, which birthed out of the Dream Warriors. So you had somebody who could control dreams. And then in the 5th one, it was the Dream Child, where Freddy was trying to be reborn, right, as a child, and it got beaten. Then you had Freddy's Dead. I got grounded for a month because I went and snuck out of the house to go watch Freddy's Dead. So Freddy's Dead Freddy's Dead will always be in my mind that way, because I got in trouble because I wasn't supposed to go to the movies, and I lied, and I went to my friend's house, and his mom took us, and then I got found out. Would have got away with it if I had just come straight home, but I didn't. Yeah. But the thing is Freddy's Dead then was like introduced Freddy's daughter, like the little girl that we saw in all the things. It was, skipping rope and doing 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. That was his daughter. And we got all this backstory, and then they kill him. The problem was they did a gimmick in that, and they did it 3D, and it was like, yeah.
That was still the 80s, right? So like 3D would have still been kind of
that would have been the early 90s.
that would have been like 90. That was like 92, 91, something like that.
Yeah. It'd been something like it, 91, 92. But it was
when
a 3D thing.
was starting to die out.
But then Freddy was dead. In all intents and purposes, they had planned on just killing him off and just letting him die. But then they did New Nightmare. New Nightmare is a completely different story. New Nightmare really is not a Nightmare on Elm Street in its true form, because a New Nightmare is basically told in a meta way where Freddy is the comical, is a movie character, right? So Wes Craven plays himself. Heather Langenkamp plays herself, and they're going to make a new Freddy movie. Okay, they come together because apparently Wes Craven says in the movie that he's been having nightmares again, and that he has a new idea for a Freddy movie to resurrect the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. This is all in the movie. Okay, it shows them making a Nightmare on Elm Street movie, but in this you find out that the real character behind this is that there's this demon, this entity that's been existing for thousands of years. And the only way that this specific demon lives and remains is to be told and retold in story. So Freddy is the embodiment, you find out, of this demon being retold in story that's been told throughout centuries. And at the end, they face off against a physical being in this new Freddy Krueger, that it's not really Freddy, it's this demon. It's this thing. And I love it because it's really meta. It takes you out of it and everything. But then the problem is when by the time they do Freddy versus Jason, they just act like New Nightmare didn't happen. Freddy's Dead didn't happen. Yeah. And then all of a sudden we're just right back in the same world where Freddy's just killing everybody off and he needs Jason now. And it's like, okay.
It was funny. We were talking about Tales from the Crypt earlier. Yeah, it was funny as we were talking about Tales from the Crypt earlier. I've never seen Tales from the Crypt, but I've seen almost every single episode of Tales from the Crypt Keeper, which is, it's amazing that a show like that existed. In the sense of like that, and everyone on this panel probably know, but stuff like Tales from the Crypt Keeper, Mortal Kombat, Defenders of the Realm, things like that, where you have kid-friendly versions of IPs that are for adults, almost like sort of getting them ready to go watch whenever these things hit home media and things like that. And, because obviously Mortal Kombat was I think still in the arcades when Defenders of the Realm came out, or it was just moving to home console. It's just, it's a strange phenomenon that I never really understood.
Freddy was a strange phenomenon because kids were into it. Like, you really want to talk a weird thing.
Yeah.
kids were they started making toys. Their kids had stickers. They had lunch pails. I mean, they had all this stuff with Freddy Krueger. This guy.
Now
who's
you could merch out horror
supposed
movies.
to be a mass murderer, child killer, and it was okay. And we all saw the movies, but they were all rated R. What the heck? It's the 80s. It's the 80s, man.
And also take into consideration one of the things that's also, I think, to speak to that point, that helped the 80s and helped the proliferation of slasher horror films is that all of these films in their wide market releases were all rated R as opposed to being rated NC-17. R films, anyone under the age of 18 can get into with a person who is over the age of 17.
Mm-hmm.
Versus NC-17, where if you're under the age of 17, you can't get in at all.
Period.
Like that was, for example, Zombies talked about this for years. That's why, particularly for his last two films, he was fighting tooth and nail to get these things down to an R because he knew that was where the market is. If you get a horror, NC-17 for horror is the kiss of death. No pun intended. It is actually you can't get people kind of to have that long term kind of sort of brand loyalty effectively. Versus like films that are PG and exactly like Evil Dead, I think got kind of lucky, right? Because it was what PG-13 was the original Evil Dead, right?
No, the original Evil Dead was NC-17.
Was the original? So no, they dropped it down to what? I think it was R for Evil Dead 2, right?
Yeah.
So that was
hold on. Wait a second. When Evil Dead came out, NC-17 didn't even exist.
Yeah, because it was 80, right?
Yeah. When Evil Dead
80s rated R is like Child's Play compared to now.
Well, Child's Play the movie or Child's Play the concept?
No pun intended. No,
yes,
the
that's
concept.
what I have to ask. But yeah, like that was
that doll ain't scary. He's not scary, DL.
Also, that's why.
No, he's not.
Hey, it's John Gruden. Also, that's why, take into consideration, that's why Temple of Doom basically kind of, or was it Temple of Doom or Raiders basically caused the creation of the PG-13 film, because you either got PG or R.
Yeah.
Like that's what a lot of people forget. You got PG or R, and then I think it was around the same time that PG-13 came in, you had NC-17, or a little bit before that. So that was where Evil Dead kind of squeaked in, but everything after that for like Freddy and Jason.
The Evil Dead from 1981 is rated NC-17.
Yeah.
The fact that came out, you know what? Never mind.
Well, hold on. But is that? Hold on. It's rated NC-17.
It just says what it is rated now. I can't find out what it was when it came out.
Yeah, because it wasn't that when it came out. They must have gone back and.
Well, you know what you can do is if you click on NC-17, if you're on Wikipedia, it'll list
all the movies.
It'll tell you this. It'll tell you the story of. Like, it'll give you the synopsis of when it started.
Oh, the creation. Well, I mean, it's the same. I mean, it's the same thing, TW, for like how the ESRB was created because of Mortal Kombat, and just
yeah. Oh, those court cases.
Story to tell, ain't it?
Oh, those court
This
cases.
was so controversial. It went to Congress and the Supreme Court.
And you want to what's crazy?
I don't want to show blood in a video game.
What's crazy about it? What's really interesting? It was one of two games. You basically had Night Trap, and then you had the original Mortal Kombat.
TW, hold on. Let me talk about Night Trap, please. I just find this ironic as hell. You had a literal Nintendo rep go up to the people that were in charge at the time, be like, "As God is my witness, Night Trap will never be on a Nintendo console. You can now get Night Trap 20th Anniversary Edition on your Nintendo Switch."
Yes, and that's true. Because I think one of the other major issues when it came to violence that was used that a lot of people don't talk about was it wasn't simply the video games, it was also brought up into court their and I say weapons, I'm talking about like their light guns, like the Zapper, and what was the Genesis's one, DL?
There was the Zapper for the NES, and then the Genesis. The Genesis, I don't think had any like add-ons like that, as far as I know.
No, the Genesis had a light gun.
They had a 30. They had the 32X and the Sega CD. I don't know what light gun they had. Though. You're actually drawing a blank for me. I know the Super Nintendo had a bazooka.
Yes. Yes, and
the original Sega had a light gun, but I don't think that Sega Genesis had a light gun.
That's what I'm saying. Like I would have.
Genesis.
The Sega Master System. The Sega Master System.
The Menacer. Was it the Menacer? No, the Justifier.
Master.
That sounds like just a gun name in general.
That was it. The Justifier was. It wasn't. Was it the Justifier? I'll look it up. But I know you're right. The Master System had one, but there was also a thing called the Minister. If you look it up, they show it in the court hearings, and they say something along the lines of Nintendo had said, because Nintendo of America was on the side of guys like Lieberman, and they said basically that you'll see this in a Nintendo. You'll never see this on a Sega console or something like that. But it's like, because of the kerfuffle, and that got picked up, and that was just one of the things that kind of helped it spiral.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the ironic part of all of this: the ESRB doesn't even do its job. So
yeah.
Unlike the rated R. So
NC-17 was created in 1990.
By name. However,
but it previously was known as Rated X.
Yes, that is why like pornos were called like XX and XXX was because Rated X existed. So it was called Rated X from 70 to what was it
91 when
NC-17.
It
happened the same time. But that's the same time the ESRB was created.
Yeah,
and Rated X was persons under 16 not admitted.
Yeah, that was a brief
This
period.
is insane.
That was like what 80 to 84, I think was X, right? For 16, right?
So you even limited your audience by that much as well. That's crazy.
We should talk about
I mean,
censoring
watching the
entertainment
first
now.
Evil Dead. I've not
it
let
looks
my
like
16, 17-year-old watch the first Evil Dead.
Red Dawn was the original John Milius Red Dawn was PG-13.
So here's my parenting moment. My kids have watched all the Evil Dead movies.
Of course they did. Of course they did.
At what age though? When did they start watching them?
Last year.
Oh, there you go.
I mean,
They were 14, 15, and 18.
Okay, no, the 14 to 15-year-old. No.
But like there's I'll say this. There's something different about that and like taking a 5-year-old or 10-year-old to go see Joker. You know, like there's a difference. I'm like,
my kids also went to the theater to see Joker.
No. What I'm saying though is I went to my theater and there's like literal children sitting on their dad's lap watching Joker, and I'm like, why?
I went to see Deadpool, and as I'm sitting there in the stripper scene, I'm looking down the aisle, and there's like 9 and 10-year-olds there.
I did see a lot of kids at Deadpool.
You know,
does it make it right though? Like,
no, but here's
it
the thing. Here's what I will say. Okay, I understand things there are some things that I get it. I would even look at it and go, okay, you know what, this is too much for your kids. This is too much for whatever. Here's what you got to remember though. Even Evil Dead, all that stuff. What I noticed was this. I took my kids to see, what movie was it that we saw?
Well, while you think of that, there's a difference between bringing your kid to Deadpool and then bringing your kid to like Saving Private Ryan, right? They're not going to get anything out of Saving Private Ryan.
They're trying to see a lot of death.
Yeah, they are going to take something out of Deadpool because there are some lighter moments. And
well, but hold on though, because my son saw Hacksaw Ridge. And I was
gonna say Hacksaw Ridge,
and I didn't think that he would take anything out of that, and that was the first thing that actually made him appreciate serious movies.
Really?
Yeah. So here's the thing. Here's something that you also have to remember: the kids today are not the kids of the '80s.
No.
Anybody who wasn't there, I know it's easy to look back and go, well, these are just a bunch of old guys who are going on waxing on about the old times, but it's not. Kids were much more grown up. Kids were much more, they were exposed to a lot of more real world stuff because we weren't in fantasy worlds most of our time. I mean, the only fantasy stuff that we had for the longest time was stuff like Star Wars, and then Superman came out and stuff.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. I mean, everything else like was pretty serious. Like life was pretty serious. You spent your time using your own imagination. You played outside, you rode your bike, you did stuff with the guys, girls, like it was.
Yeah, I understand.
The problem with today is people have become so entranced with entertainment and honestly, it has dumbed down the generations. The generations are not exposed to as many things now. That's why you can go out on and you see like these interviews where people go out and ask like, well, who's the vice president? I have no idea. right? Who's
Right.
the, you know, like it's crazy. It's crazy. And that's also what leads to a lot of the ignorance and the arguments, like whether it
Exactly.
be socially, politically, whatever, like, you know, because like when I see a thing, you know, somebody going on about how you know, Obama is somehow responsible for 9/11.
You didn't know that?
Oh yeah, right. And like the guy
TW.
and the guy is serious. The guy is serious. He's like, oh well, you know, if he wasn't out golfing so much, you know, he could have prevented it. Like what?
It's like,
That's
dude,
that's the wrong one.
You
Exactly.
are many
I'll
years
continue.
off. You're 8
Yeah.
years off, and you're
Well, but what I'm saying is like kids nowadays, you ask kids simple social questions and they're not prepared to answer them. They don't know what's going on in the world.
But if you ask them about, I don't know, popular video game,
what's the most recent skin release on Fortnite?
Right.
Yeah.
That's their world. That's why, like with my kids are very much involved. My kids play Fortnite and everything else. I mean, that you could possibly imagine. My kids are very involved in that. But I really try to sit down with my kids sometimes and make them aware of real life issues. And people just don't do that anymore. People don't have time to do that. They don't take the time to do that. And I'm sorry, but if there's one downfall to our society right now, it's the fact that our kids, we treat them we coddle them too much. My ex-wife wanted to do that with my son Landon. She wanted to coddle him. She wanted to protect him from everything. And with me and my son, I had real conversations with him. Okay. When we first moved into this house 6 years ago, he's 16 now. So he was 10. Okay. He was afraid of the dark, deathly afraid of the dark. For the first time, he had his own room. Okay.
I had that same fear.
He hated it. He would have his TV on. He literally cried himself to sleep. And some nights he begged me to go to his mother's house, even though he loved being here and wanted to be here. He did not want to sleep here because he had his own room and he was scared of his own room because it was a new place. And before that, he had shared a room with his brother, where his brother was in the room with him.
Right.
And I remember sitting on his bed one night and telling him, Landon, there's going to come a time when you're going to love this room. This room will be your sanctuary. Like you will literally want to shut the door, get away from everybody. And I said, and you will sleep in this room absolutely with no lights on. And he's like, no, Dad, that's never going to happen. That's never going to happen. What changed my son? Literally what changed my son? He started seeing the previews for the movie It. Something about, because we also, you remember, I don't know if you guys have seen the show Face Off.
Yes.
Be on Sci-Fi, where they actually showed, where they show how they make movie makeup and all that stuff. So my kids started watching that too. And that started getting their attention to like, okay, this is how they do this. This is how they make these movies and do these things. And then Landon saw the previews for It. And Tiffany and I went to go see It. And then Landon said, Dad, can I watch It?
Ooh.
And I went, dude, I don't know. I just don't know. I'm like, you're scared of everything. I'm like, I don't want it to give you nightmares, whatever. And I went and saw it and I was like, okay, you know what? It's more about these kids. It's not so hardcore. Sure. Okay. You know what? We'll go with you. And I went with him to see It. He loved it. Loved it. Completely turned his perspective. Now he's a horror movie guy. Ooh. Now his room is filled not just with DC figures and stuff like that he loves and whatever. It's filled with all kinds of action figures and stuff, horror movies, whether it be It, Chucky. He went old school. Like all of a sudden he wanted to watch every old horror movie, right? Like literally my kids
only go back so far before it starts becoming scary.
Yeah, well, but my kids saw I can't remember what movie they saw, but then they asked, "Hey, can we?" Oh, we took them to see Jurassic World. Okay,
oh, there you go.
We took them to see Jurassic World. That also changed them because then all of a sudden on the way home they're like, "Hey, can we watch Jaws?"
Oh, yes.
And I went,
you can.
And I went, yeah, you know what, you guys can. But here's where I started realizing something. I played Jaws for them, and they laughed all the way through it. They looked like it was a comedy. Right. And I was like, come on, guys, this movie scared the crap out of me. Come on, Dad. Why would this movie scare you? And I'm like,
and then
because
they start seeing the
animatronic shark.
Yep. Well, then we watched Chucky. I had never watched the Child Play movies, but Landon had this affinity for Chucky. And he was like, can we watch the Chucky series? And I was like, yep, let's watch the Chucky series. So he found it all and we watched it all. And they loved that. Then they wanted to watch Nightmare on Elm Street, so we watched all the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. And the thing is I realized something. Just as I grew up in the 80s and I would look back on the Universal monsters like Dracula, Wolfman and stuff and go, that's silly. I can't believe that like kids were scared of that in the, the 40s and 50s or whatever. That's dumb. My kids were looking at Freddy and Jason and Chucky and laughing about it and going, that's not scary. And then all of a sudden they wanted to see new horror. They wanted to see new scary movies. And it became a thing. And now my son, we're all watching the new Chucky series together because my son loves Chucky. He's got all kinds of Chucky figures and dolls and stuff like that. And it's just, my ex-wife hated it. My ex-wife thought that I was the devil for letting him watch it. And it was like 2 years later, he's got all this stuff in his room. He loves all these scary movies. And she's like, she's trying to, she's in an argument with me about Landon. And she's like, he's scared of the dark and you're letting him. I'm like, no, he's not.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. The kid has not slept with a nightlight in over a year and a half. You don't know your own son.
Ooh,
you know what?
You used that line.
I did. I did because she didn't.
Fist bump on that.
Because thank you. Because she did not know him. I said, your son is into this genre now and he is not scared at all. The kid, I literally have to go in wake him up sometimes, dude, put a light on, dude. Get up. You know what I mean? Like he's got everything disabled because he wants to sleep in the dark now.
Right.
And it's and that's just that was just a year and a half after that.
I like
when he told me he'd never do it. So I think it's how you introduce it, obviously, but also being a responsible parent. Obviously, I'm not showing my kids pornographic stuff. Obviously, I'm not watching pornographic stuff. You know what I mean? But I'm not showing my kids stuff that is going to damage them. But at this, I'm not showing them Human Centipede or gore, stuff like that.
Ooh.
But
it's like there were levels to it.
I do want to know, have they seen
there's
The
levels
Fly?
to it. What's that?
Have they seen Jeff Goldblum's The Fly?
No, not yet. Not yet.
Oh, dude.
There's still some stuff we're still trying to get to. I mean,
that's more disgusting though than creepy.
I liked when you told the deep dish pizza story about your son, and how, it's even stuff like that though. Take risks, opening yourself up to new things, and I promise.
Yeah, and so the thing is I mean, TW will attest to it. Like the 80s were just a different time. Kids got to experience things like you never believed, but also we weren't protected from everything. We went out, we got dirty, we got hurt, we learned lessons, like life lessons that you could only learn by experiencing. And nowadays kids, they don't go outside. You know what I mean? Like literally they don't go outside. They don't experience stuff. Their outside is literally putting on a pair of VR glasses and experiencing a world within it. And I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not old guy sitting here going,
we're not that far in the future yet, but
I'm just saying, I'm not saying it's bad and technology is bad, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going there. I'm not the old guy, cursing, like as RJ likes to say,
you're not the old man yelling at clouds.
The best way to describe it I can think of. The best way I can describe it I can think of.
But I am a dad. I am a dad, and I am a 45-year-old man who got. I feel like being born in '76, being born in that era, and being part of Generation X. I got to experience the best of both worlds. I got to experience the end of the best part of what it used to be like to grow up without all that stuff, and to like experience the real world and know what was going on in socially and things like that. And then also be able to experience the rise of video games and and technology and stuff.
And on top of that, I was really JP and I are about, and I'm assuming DL, we're about this. JP and I are about the same age. So
how are you, TW?
27.
Oh, really? I thought you were older, TW. I'm sorry.
No.
I'm sorry.
Awesome. But the thing is, I'm like I said, I was born in the mid '90s, and I was.
Maybe it's because you're always talking about '80s metal and stuff, and you have kind of a different demeanor.
It helps in that
well, you do live in Canada, so basically you are about back in the '80s. So.
Yes, I know. What was it? The '80s didn't hit here until 1993 or whatever it was.
Exactly,
the joke from. But the thing is, but another thing is, I was. It also helps my parents were a bit older. My dad would probably be old enough to be your older brother, as opposed to a little bit younger. And then on top of that, my mom's My mom, God rest her soul, was about 10 years older than him. So like I got all their life. I got all their history from, being children of the 60s. And so I got to kind of see their sort of hear their stories about it. And also I have, uncles who are about your age. But another thing that I think is also different, the best way to describe it that I can think of, is as you experienced as far as like tragedy and stuff like that, and that kind of like crime and things like that. You experienced it in the sense of newspapers, in the sense of newsreels, like you've seen the real thing.
Mm-hmm.
People of my generation saw fictionalized versions of those things and were desensitized in that way.
Yeah.
When you say it like that, TW, what give me some examples? Because
like I'm saying in the sense, we'll also take into consideration, like especially for people of my dad's
generation sat in a classroom and watched the Challenger explosion happen live.
And my father and my father and his older siblings, because my dad's the second youngest of four. My father and his older siblings were old enough to watch, basically because, and this again would be something Enosh might know from his older siblings, the Vietnam War and the events of it were being televised in the United States and Canada.
Yep.
And so on top of that,
CNN stopped all broadcasting to broadcast the Desert Storm War.
Yep.
They stopped all broadcasting of anything else.
And that was right before my life. And then on top of that, you had from Dad's generation, you had like the Kennedy assassination, you had the assassination of some of the great civil rights movement leaders. You had the Nixon resignation, the entire Watergate scandal. And then especially as my dad was growing up in sort of his teenage years, you had the Iran-Contra scandal.
Yep.
And like that was all televised and that was all real world. The best way to it's kind of a similar.
It was the end of the Cold War with Russia.
Yeah, and it's a similar comparison also to visual effects in film. Practical effects look fake but feel real. CG looks real but feels fake. So I think it's kind of like we were sort of desensitized in those different ways, if that makes sense.
Since we're around the same age, TW, I would like to throw in my head as well. Not this head.
Sure, I'd love to hear your perspective.
Like, I just feel like we've seen a lot of not heinous, but a lot of bad shit just happen like year after year. So like again, like we're the generation that grew up with 9/11. We didn't feel the effects. We did not feel the effects of it. We saw the economic crash happen before Obama came into office and around that time. It just seems like the bad stuff just keeps piling up and piling up and piling up.
And me too. I'm 26, by the way.
We don't really know what normal is. We've never, again, like we're now in a peacetime. America is now at peace. I have never known an America to not be at peace. Like it's just one thing after another. So it's not so much we are desensitized to it, but it's also like we expect it to happen. Like it's like we saw this coming.
That's
like
this is peace.
I would question that too. Here's the thing. And I appreciate what you said, but to Ty's point, we're told stuff nowadays and we just go with it based upon who we trust. We trust everybody except for the people we don't trust. Everybody's either it's look, and it is what it is politically, socially, everything is. If you don't like something that these people say, they're the devil and you don't believe them. If you like some of the things that these people say, you absolutely believe them. Right? And that's the problem is critical thinking. Critical thinking has gone right out the door. Because to Ty's point, just because a war is over or one thing is shut down, we are not at peace. We're more.
When I say peace, I mean like I've never known an America to not be at war with another country. I should have been more specific with that. But I agree with you though, Enosh. Like my generation has a problem to where we've seen all the kerfuffles and bad things in history, and we want to make sure that we don't do that. But because we're trying so hard to not do that, we're inadvertently doing it just in different ways. That's just how I say it. We're full of self-righteousness, but we don't know where to target it at.
Well, and everybody's an expert nowadays, and actually nobody knows anything.
Wow.
Yeah, I think we fight each other. Like that's the war right now is the left versus right. Everyone in our country is fighting each other now all of a sudden.
Well, and that's the thing is there's more of a civil war going on right now
Where look, it used to be, I remember when people who were Democrats, Republicans, whatever, they'd go to the polls, they would vote, they would disagree, they would argue, but they were still friends.
Yeah.
Okay. This whole thing now where I see people who are Republicans talking about, if you voted for Biden, unfollow me, get me off your friends list. I don't want to hear anything from you.
And
I don't
vice
want to
versa
talk
for the other
again.
person.
Leave me alone. And then I see Republicans, or I see Democrats going, if you voted for Trump, I don't want to talk to you. You're a horrible person. I know exactly who you are. I don't care about who you are, actually. I don't care about why you voted the way that you voted, or what's going on. Or maybe you don't even like Trump, but you voted for him because of this or that supports something that means something to you. And so you're just a bad person now. And I hate you, and unfollow me. Don't talk to me,
there's
whatever.
no middle ground, no. I
That's
get crap
not
all the
critical
time for being a
thinking.
centrist.
That's not critical thinking, you know. You know, so it's very
Then they
very
want to get
unfortunate.
mad at people who don't vote because of both extremes.
Oh no! What they'll do is they'll get mad at people that either don't vote or vote for a third party candidate, and then they'll say that's a wasted vote. You wasted your vote. Like,
and look, for everybody
really?
everybody who's very vocal on social media about who they voted for, guess what? You're friends with a lot of people who don't believe like you or don't think like you. They're just scared to tell you nowadays, because the second that they tell you, they get canceled. They'll get yelled at. Everybody comes for them, one side or the other, and
Clearly, I
you
feel
know,
that way with some of my
it's like
friends.
McCarthyism on steroids. Like, it really just is. Like, I have to agree with Matt on that. Like, there's a lot more McCarthyism and witch hunting nowadays than there ever has been, because you're like, innocent until proven guilty is a foreign concept. It's now guilty until proven innocent. You know, like, and even when you're innocent, you're not really fully innocent, because some people just will not believe the facts.
This statement by Adam is an interesting one, and I'm not a Trump supporter. I'm not somebody who, you know, I've got family members who are or whatnot, and I've talked about it a lot. Like, I'm a conservative, but I'm a centrist. Okay, but here's an interesting thing because a lot of people, I'll talk to a lot of people, and they're like, you know, like, it's fine. Don't like the guy. He's not president anymore.
Right.
Okay. He's not president anymore. We voted him out.
Democracy
You voted him out, or
works.
whoever voted him out. Whoever voted him out, voted him out. Right. And he's not there. But the thing is that this idea that, like, everybody who voted for Trump is these far right wingers, right?
Yeah.
No, just like everybody who voted for Biden isn't like some crazy left winger either. Okay. Like, I don't do wings. I like being in the middle, where I actually have critical thinking. And the thing is most people are there. But the problem is that, as I ask people like that who are like, well, if you voted for Trump, you know, talking about these other people, you voted for Trump, then I don't want anything to do with you. And I ask them, you know, there's a lot of people in this country who voted for him, but not everybody voted for him for the same reason.
Right, and they don't have to take the time to break down exactly why they voted for him. They just think, oh, because, you know, we still have racism in this country, and we have this problem and this problem.
They act like,
no, you're really taking the most basic way out to complain about it.
Well, and that's the thing, is they act like everybody who voted for Trump is like one of these bumpkin racists who, you know, doesn't think for themselves or whatever. And that's just not the truth. I know a lot of really good people in my life who voted for Trump, and they're not that way. Yeah. But they voted for it because of financially where they were at.
Yep.
Like that for the first time in their life, they had a savings, right? Yep. That they had things in their life that they were able to do, and they politically, there's no other alternative. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's the other thing, because
you can't tell somebody it's hard to tell somebody who's a conservative, like, vote for somebody else, because they don't have a lot of other alternatives if they don't agree with the economic standpoints and, you know, and the things. I'm not talking about the religious aspects or the, you know, like issues like abortion or, you know, those things that like, or even, you know, like gay marriage or any of those things. I'm talking about, there's a lot of people just from an economics, and they're not billionaires. They're not millionaires. They're just simply people who have a different view on economics. The problem is that when they look at the core of the other thing, they're not able to go to the other side, and vice versa. Right. I know a lot of Democrats who are unhappy with their party. I know a lot of Republicans
also garbage.
Who are unhappy with their party. Right. They don't stand behind the party fully. But the problem is is
There's
that
no other better.
you have a two-party system.
There's nothing better. Yes, like
there's
don't
no
progress.
alternative, right?
Like,
So if you vote for a third party, that's more in line with what you think and actually feels the way that you do, because like a lot of people, I get told a lot of times that I'm something else, because I'm a person who believes in equality. I'm a person who believes that people should be treated fairly. I'm a person who believes that that economically we should have better things in place. I believe that I don't know what the answer is to our healthcare issue in the United States, but a lot of people don't either. And I believe that there's some kind of answer, but I believe that it's going to take a lot to get there. But I also believe that, you know what, you should leave people alone. You shouldn't be able to tell people what they can do. I think that it's ridiculous that we try to tell people and control people all the time with like what they can do. That's not the government's place. Okay, that's not what our government was set here is to micromanage us all and control us all, right? And so, but the problem is, you feel like if you vote for somebody with those kind of values, like you're not going to get a return. That person's not going to be president because the other people are just way louder. And we're a two-party system, and
it's no longer about policy and what can be better for everyone. It's about who has the better personality, who do I like because they like certain things that I also like. I'm done with.
It's a popularity contest.
It is a popularity contest. I'm done talking to people on the left because they don't understand why no one wanted to vote for Hillary Clinton, even though she's a war criminal.
But
what
you just said is also an issue, right? Because you're classifying the left as a type of person.
I'm talking about the people on the left of the neoliberals. Like, I'm done talking with neoliberals. That's an actual clap. Like, the true progressives in the Democratic Party have been trying to fight the neoliberals for at least a decade now. And these are the people that have been in power for the longest time. But there's people that are trying to get into office that actually value progressive values, but because of the establishment and how they've just been ingrained for so many decades, it's so hard to get a foothold in there. Now, do I agree with every young person on the left? No, I personally don't. No, I don't. That was perfect timing.
You set that all up for that, didn't you?
No, I swear to God, I did not. I swear to my almighty Lord, I did not do that on purpose, but it worked. It worked. But no, I don't agree. Like, I personally don't think AOC is a good politician. She's a good activist, but she's not a good politician.
Who?
AOC.
I'm like Enosh. I'm center, but I'm more left. I am the same type of progressive that FDR was back in the day. I believe he had some of the best policies any president has ever had, and if people don't believe me, normally it takes about 20 years to feel the economic effects of a certain president's policies. The Great Depression, 30s, 40s, 50s, by the time the 50s rolled around, you have all this money, and that's why the baby boomers had the economic prosperity that they were able to have, and free college and all this is because of what FDR planted in the 30s. So, but that's neither here nor there.
Adam, I was just thinking the same thing. It's like, you're listening to Pop Culture Corner, the Halloween edition, where Freddy Krueger and this guy over here are talking politics.
I am made of
NPR, sponsored by NPR.
I am made of billions and billions of neurons.
You know why? Because we're talking about scary stuff. We're talking about scary stuff tonight, Adam. And politics are scary stuff.
Politics is a very scary subject.
Oh, it's scary.
But no, if we want to go back to scary though, I have something I can.
I'm scared of the world sometimes.
I'm made of neurons. They're firing off right now. But no, if we want to get back to scary, I have something I wanted to just see if anyone else cared about. Ty.
I mean, after that, I'm gonna wrap it up. I gotta.
Okay, that's fair. And TW should know what I'm about to bring up. So who here's a fan of classic cartoons?
Heck yeah.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Anybody see the Pibby short that came out yesterday?
What was the short?
I don't know if you can show it on screen, Ty, but
what is it called?
It's called Pibby. It's like number 25 trending. It was a short that Adult Swim put online yesterday. And me and TW, I've been obsessed with it all day. Like, it is just one of the greatest things Hanna-Barbera could ever do, or Cartoon Network could ever do with its properties. This is going to be an adult. Right now, the creator is like really wanting to make it a series. And if it becomes a series, it would be the most meta thing ever created, as far as I'm concerned, because it is like
nudge.
I'm not sure what I'm looking at here.
Okay, hold on. Do you need me to help you find it? Because I absolutely will. I'll send you the trailer.
Is it Pibby or Piggy?
Pibby. P-I-B-B-Y. I'm sorry, I have a mask on, so
yes,
it's Pibby.
Oh my god.
Learning with Pibby. Learning
Come
is so
and
fun.
learn with Pibby.
Learning with Pibby is haunting, bro. It's a trip.
This little piggy went to market.
It's awesome.
This little piggy stayed home.
TW, we need to get into that, dude.
This little piggy had roast beef. This little piggy had
I swear
none.
I'm gonna put it in. Yep, Pibby adult.
But
Swim
I
right
just
here.
keep coming back.
All right, I'll let me hold on. I got you, Ty. I got you. Hold on. Let me
Is this even something I want to see?
It is. It absolutely is. It is so good.
It fits horror, and it also kind of fits, our sort of pop culture thing because it shows
absolutely does.
everything.
And I'm gonna put it in the chat. Paste. Boom.
If you can.
Boom. There we go.
Oh, the private
chat.
chat.
I put it in the private chat.
Yeah, there it is.
Learning with Pibby. Learning is so fun. We like to spell it. We like to hug.
Is this it right here?
That's it.
Yep,
that's it. It'll make sense in a second.
It'll make so much sense.
Demonetization in demonetization in 5, 4.
What is that?
What the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Oh, it gets worse.
I'm scared. Don't worry, Bun Bun. I'll always keep you safe.
What in God's name?
Yeah.
Wait for it.
I discovered whole other worlds that are nothing like mine.
Oh, you're gonna love it here.
What's that red water? I've never seen that before. Quiet. There's no superheroes left. We're the only ones who can save the universe.
But I'm just a sidekick. And I'm a villain. Look, kid,
Oh my
do you
God.
really think we're going to save the universe with the power of love?
That's a great idea. We'll use the power of love. I know we're not heroes, but maybe we...
Yeah,
No. Please keep going, dude. I swear to God, it gets
can't.
good at the end, dude. It gets so good.
I can't. I'm sorry.
Ty, please.
No, it's for copyright
it's because
reasons.
it's because of
damn.
Warner's. This is a Cartoon Network thing, which means Warner's owns it.
Anyway, in that case, then I'll just break down the what it's about, basically.
But do you have to?
Yes.
You don't really need to. It's pretty much self-explanatory from there.
Dude, it's a cartoon zombie apocalypse. This is amazing.
That literally.
If they show up in my world,
I couldn't even.
I got
grasp
one answer
what
for
that
'em.
was.
Dude, the part
That actually looked
scarred
really
me.
interesting.
It gets worse. Like in a later clip, it shows like the monster chasing after her with George Jetson's face. They also go to Nickelodeon worlds like SpongeBob and Rocko's Modern Life. Like it's a giant like meta thing.
They just ruin everything for
from the Reddit leaks that came out about it. Basically, that monster is supposed to represent the internet and how it taints everything.
Which would be cool.
I'm just like in love with this.
It ain't this and it ain't that. It's somewhere in the middle.
Well,
TW, like what did you think? Did I honestly haven't like talked to you about
A, I
this.
loved it. B, there's already a subreddit.
There's already a subreddit.
Oh my God!
Like,
what is the world coming to?
Imagine all your favorite iconic cartoon characters getting just zombified and turned
You know
into
what it's like? I think a good comparison would be that JP will get, DL might get Undertale.
It's absolutely the Undertale of cartoons. It absolutely is, and I'm all for it. I am all for it. Yes, make this. It's going to be greenlit as a show. It has to be.
I hope so.
It's very, dude. It's turning number 25 on YouTube. It's going to be a show.
Oh God!
But did that put you in the scary mood, guys?
That made me feel things that I shouldn't have felt tonight.
I'll make.
What do you mean, Ty? It's Halloween. You're supposed to feel disturbed.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, what'd you think, dude? I haven't heard you say a word.
I mean, I try to get a word in, but you know.
I'm sorry. I actually do want to hear what you think, though, man, because this thing is insane.
Yeah, that's the word to describe it. It's insane. But it does.
Need it.
It does look interesting, though. I might have to check that out because it's nuts, especially if they're able to get Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon properties in there. It's like,
so they're using Nickelodeon properties under the guise of parody. That's the only legal way they could do it, because Paramount would absolutely not let that stuff slide, and Viacom would not let that stuff slide.
Not at all. Like taking your cartoons and molesting them, basically.
Pretty much.
Ty, that hurts your soul.
That actually sounds like an interesting cartoon to me, Ty.
Don't believe Cherie.
Yeah,
Hey,
we're gonna wrap up here, guys. That was what a way to end than having my childhood destroyed in some form.
Don't I know how to end stuff for you, buddy? Aren't you glad you have me on the team?
Yeah, man. Thank you so much. You've truly introduced me to a whole new world.
A whole new world. A new fantastic place to kill.
Yep.
No one to tell me no or where to go. I'll just kill all your teens. A whole new world. A world where the reboot never exists. Just Robert Englund there and me over here and lots of big clawed fists. A whole new world.
74-year-old Robert Englund playing Freddy. That's great.
See, I like.
I can kill you tonight.
Tree, why are you
Slice
calling me
you up
Glowface?
into tender.
I have a name. I'm being offended.
Guys, let's go. The fuck?
Yeah.
He's just calling me Glowface. I don't appreciate this.
Well, then take the glow face off, stupid.
It's my face. I can't help that I manifested myself to have a glow face. Okay, I'm sorry.
At least we get something on camera for once.
See? Yeah. I know. Who was complaining about me not showing my face on camera?
All right, my wife is calling me. I'm getting bored with this. No. Ty's trying to get the whole thing done, and I got to do a stream later tonight, and yeah. So I like how that shines. That's kind of a cool effect.
Yeah, I mean, this is the Matrix one, but still.
Got quiet.
My thing.
What are we waiting on?
I was muted. I was saying, Enosh, you want to tell us where we can find you tonight?
Tonight, you can find me in your dreams. That's usually where I'm at anyways. You can find me on the Poindexter Lounge. Hopefully I didn't tick Brian off enough that he won't come on tonight.
Oh, wow. Wait, what did I miss?
No, yeah, find me over at Poindexter Lounge. You can find us on social media, Poindexter Lounge. We have a lot of fun, and we got some cool things. Got some cool things that we're thinking about doing, and some cool people involved. And so keep watching for more information. And sure, love these guys. Thank you for inviting me tonight. I had fun.
Oh, of course, man.
Got to try out this thing. I think I want to do like a horror movie like review thing, like with this red light thing, and just be like,
with that aesthetic,
be cool.
Yeah,
be cool.
All right, Meta.
Hi.
Where can we?
1 hour later.
You're funny. If y'all want to check me out, you can find me over at Metaverse. You can also find me on Twitter at the most meta. I'm very active on there, and I have a podcast called Talking Meta, which I'm going to be releasing more episodes soon. I have an update video that I just dropped yesterday talking about all that stuff. So if you want to check that out, please do.
All right, TW.
If you guys want to find me somewhere and continue our conversation about whatever, you can find me on Instagram or Twitter or Reddit at TWMcKay34 as put in chat.
All right, and then finally, DL.
Y'all can find me on YouTube at I Am DL, where I talk about movies and shows and everything in the nerdy geek culture. Anything you could think of, Star Wars, Marvel, DC, all that stuff. I talk about everything. Something strange is coming to my neighborhood. I'll be talking about that really, really soon. So
and
look
you
out
better
for
review
that.
it proper.
All right.
If I can get a damn word in.
Right? Meta's even talking over you now. You trying to...
I'm sorry.
Edgewise, right? Jesus.
Hey, and listen, every time DL comes to the lounge, I'm like, okay, guys,
Just let DL say something. Like I swear to God, like DL will start saying something, and like I'll be like, okay, guys, no, let DL say something, and then DL will be like, start talking, get 2 words, and then somebody will be like, yeah, but and then I'm just like, 3 hours later, I'm like, DL, I'm very, very sorry, bro.
Right.
Okay.
Well,
sorry about that.
I just covered him, so he couldn't speak again.
Wow. That's how that works.
No, so from everything from Halloween to Candy to Eternals, New Gods to politics and
Pibby.
And Pibby, yeah. So all that tonight. Had a wonderful time. Make sure to subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. I'm pretty out of it on this one, but I'll see you next time.